down, goal line dropout coming up for the Warriors.
Subtle observation, Q, and you sort of brought it up, is if you look at the ruck speed and you compare both the teams, you don't need to have a clock out. Definitely the Knights are winning the ground battle all the time. And Tyson Gamble, yet again, what about that kick?
Seems to be working so far, this patched up halves combination. Sandon Smith and Tyson Gamble was not what Knights fans thought, with Ponga and Brown among those. Fletcher Hunt at fullback. It looks different. Short restart knocked on by the Warriors. Fair challenge in the air about 12 metres from the goal line, but Newcastle's going to get the ball off a Warriors knock on.
Perfectly weighted short dropout, but as we look at the contest here, the ref got that 100% right. There's a knock on there from a Warriors player. Right in the middle of the field, 10 metres out. You couldn't ask for better field position.
And it's interesting, I automatically think, which side of the scrum's Ponga on? But of course, he's not there. So that's one, there is the unexpected nature of what do Newcastle do here?
Follow the mullet, mate. Follow the mullet.
Okay, Fletcher Hunt. He goes left. Indeed, it goes there. Gamble doesn't give the pass to Hunt. He was on his left shoulder, but the tackle made by Niakure on Gamble. He's slow to get up. 6 more. Hold down on the ruck. Crossland gives it on to Mooney. And Mooney stands in a 3-man tackle, eventually crumbles to deck. Only 5 from the line and a couple of metres to the left of the uprights. Knights already 6-0 and the Hunter wants more. Here comes Saifiti running into 3 defenders under the black dot. Can't get through. A half dozen metres from the goal line. Plays the ball to Crossland. Crash ball line from Mooney. Takes 2 defenders. One-handed offload out the back to Smith. He's tackled. Got an offload to Crossland. Got an offload to Gamble. Flat-footed. Gives it to Best on the edge. Bradman Best runs infield but runs into the tackle of Egan. Put down. 10 in from the left, 5 out. Pass back to right and centre field. Gamble running laterally. Gives it on to Smith. Beats a tackle. Flip from Hunt to the edge. Gagai's knocked it on. Picked up by the Warriors and Halasima had it, then had it stripped from him. But it was knocked forward in the strip of Young. I think there was 2-on-1 in it anyway. Penalty goes to the Warriors. 10 minutes played. Newcastle 6 lead the Warriors 0 on NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Quentin Hull, Matt Elliott and Bridget Murphy with you at Hunter Stadium.
Yeah, first error of the game there, Q, and the Knights just overplaying their hand a little bit there with some great scramble defence from the Warriors. Can they take advantage of the field position that they've got now 40 metres out from their own try line?
Quentin just confirmed with HIA officials on the sideline that it is a Category 1 head knock for Warriors debutant Morgan Gannon, so he will not be returning today.
Okay. And yeah, Matt's just showing me stats. 70% possession for the Knights to start this game. So Gannon out of the game, and we've already had Niakure activated. These days you've got to keep a close eye on which 4 of the 6 do they use. And part of NRL in 2026. Well, here's Laban. He's got it. The Warriors 40 metres out. Pass to the right boy going laterally. Gives it to Apika. That was almost forward to Niakure. Rep foot otherwise. He's tackled though 30 metres out. Clark in it. Egan in a dummy half. Given to Clark. Now through the hands. Fisher Harris to Boyd. Gives it on to the edge. Pass from Hansen to Tuivasa-Sheck. Has to stop near the left edge. Pass infield 10 metres out. Went along the ground. Picked up by Egan. Gives it on to flat-footed Fisher Harris and he stopped. Last play 10 out Warriors. Open side right. It's Boyd kicking towards Watane Zalesniak's wing. He flies and knocks it on Dallin. And in the in-goal area, Bradman Best's got it. But the referee says penalty to the Warriors. Now, that's obviously got to be an illegal contest.
He's saying Marzu grabbed his arm with it.
Okay.
For us, from this distance, it looked like a fair contest. I tell you what, Justin Holbrook has a reputation of being an attacking coach. What about the defensive scramble in that set from the Knights? Amazing.
So the Warriors will kick for touch. 6-0 to the Knights, and the visitors in their away strip might decide to have another crack at the line. Jackson Ford with the settling hit up, and he's taken only 8 metres from the goal line at the northern end of Hunter Stadium. Another hold down, 6 more. Fresh set. Fisher Harris rolls forward, runs into Saifiti, gets stopped. 3 from the goal line under the black dot. Egan directs it right for the Warriors. Boyd, second man ball is beautiful. Puts Aaron Clark through a hole, and the Warriors return serve with a try. What service from Tana Boyd. Who is this guy? I mean, there you go. Tana Boyd and Aaron Clark, frustrated Titans fans for years, and here they are looking $1 million for the Warriors. 6-4 kick to come.
Gee, I think that's a harsh penalty, by the way. They just replayed that. That was a really clever second man play where they've got to play deep out the back. They thought he was going to play long, but they had a really tight formation there. Goes straight through the line there. Tana Boyd, as you say, see how he didn't overplay his hand there, didn't do too much.
These two are an indictment on what had been happening behind the scenes for the Titans. They've left that club and they've become legitimate first graders.
As I say, he's got the keys to the house and the car, and he's running the show like a real captain.
Bridget Murphy on the touchline.
Smart stuff there from the New Zealand Warriors. You could just see that. I was about to join you, Matt, and start praising the Knights' defensive line, but that gap, while very narrow, you could see it as clear as day that one of the two Warriors players was going to creep through there. They spooked Bradman Best. He stopped in his tracks and, cruised straight through Aaron Clark for the try. And now Tana Boyd, the man who set it up, hoping to equalise with a conversion.
But it was a really well-structured play. See how Tuapiki was really deep out the back? They thought they were going to play to him. That's where Bradman Best was going. Played to the shorter player out the back and straight through untouched.
So Tana Boyd will try and convert the try that he has just laid on. 15 in from touch on the right, about 17 metres out to equal the scores. He hits the near post. He has not had the best of time with it, with his kicking off the kicking tee. And sort of brings me 6-4, by the way. Knights stay in front. 15 minutes to go. Remember the game here last year? Crazy game when the Knights went ahead with a field goal, 6 minutes to go, and then Boyd misses a penalty goal attempt, Bridge, only for him to then have a 2-point field goal attempt charged down for Halasima to run 40 metres and win the game.
Not that I'm showing red colours down here, but it still hurts.
Yeah. So, it's one of the few scenarios where Knights fans don't really want Tana Boyd missing kicks off the kicking tee. They've got bad memories from last year. Niakore played two, almost to the 30. Warriors running it back. Boyd's got it, has a juggle, but gets dumped in a very aggressive tackle there by Dylan Lucas. Warriors are on their own 30, and Boyd slow to get up. That hurt a bit. Ford has a run. Tackled 15 from halfway. Jackson Ford in the middle of the park. Egan a dummy half off his left shoulder, pops it up for try scorer Clark. Straight into the defence. 3 men there to put him down. Ref Kennedy says that's 5, and he's slow to get up too. Just feeling his nose. He's at a knee. The trainer's there, getting the hoots of the crowd on tackle 5.
It does frustrate me a little bit because that player's staying down for one reason. He wants the video ref to have a look at something because he feels like he got hit in the head. No, thank goodness. Play the ball. Go to the HIA now.
So end of the set, Clark's okay. Boyd with a high, deep kick downfield, and Hunt gathers at 2 metres from his own line. The Newcastle fullback runs over the 10 and runs into the defence 20 metres from his own line. Newcastle 6, lead the Warriors 4. Just over 15 minutes played. The first of 3 games we're bringing to you here on the triple header NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Marzu next carry almost to the 30, and then it's McEwen's turn to go forward. Middle third, make it right edge slightly, 20 in from the right, 15 from halfway when stopped. Couple of sets of hands to Saifi in the middle third. He's put down by Niakore, and the Knights are 5 inside their own half. Crossland gives it left through Smith. On the edge there is Lucas. Ford holds him up. Called to play the ball. Last play. Crossland passes left. Smith runs it over the 40. Smith gives it to Best. Best now has to kick. He grubbers the ball in behind the line. And Big Trey Mooney had a play but knocked it on. There was pressure from Tuivasa Sheck. Cleaned up by Tuapiki. Tuapiki's tackled, 22 out. Oh, gee, Roger was looking then, and Big Trey Mooney almost pinched his pocket, Matt.
Absolutely. What about that? Would have been a try and a half. I can't say when Best put that ball on his shoe, I thought, oh, that's a terrible kick, and it nearly set up a try there as we see the Warriors gruff their way out 40 metres from their own try line.
10 from halfway as Halasima now a bit more centrally for him. He just looked a little bit lost on the edge there early, didn't he, Halasima? What a young player he is, but they were sort of named in the centres and started there with Adam Pompey at home. Good luck to he and wife Casey, who are expecting their first child. Now Tuapiki puts the gas on, has a little dart through the marker area before Crossland puts him down with a high tackle though. Penalty Warriors.
Gee, Saifidi got picked out there. Tuapiki saw him getting back on side to that tight A defender there just beside the ruck, and he said, okay, you want to put your back to me? See you later. And wow, again, while it was a high tackle, it was a try-saving tackle at the same time.
He's just in the hands of the trainers, Tuapiki, and we get the thumbs up. Tana Boyd's looking around, and even though it's 6'4",
it was high, but not brutal.
they take the tap, and Fisher-Harris rolls forward. So 2 points on offer for the Warriors there. 25 out, straight in front, they don't take it. Fisher-Harris to within 15 of the line. Now forward, play 2. Sets things up for this attacking raid for the Warriors. 3 men bring him to ground. 10 metres out, centre park. 6-4 to the Knights. 22 minutes left in the first half. Egan passes right for Boyd. Steps off his right, beats one. Can't beat the second. But they were offside the Knights, and another 6 again here. Egan passes left. Clark flat ball to JFH. Oh, he's held up Fisher-Harris just. He's claiming he might have got the ball down. Let's tune in to referee Kennedy.
Confirm the ball doesn't get to the ground, just check there's a knock on.
The Knights arguing down here that he's lost the ball on the line. Immediately as they swept him up in that tackle, there was the hands going up. So interesting to see what comes up on the video referee here.
Tyson Gamble.
Contact so far is clear, playing on at this point.
Adam G's voice you're hearing from the bunker.
Ooh, it's short, and then he does lose it.
Gamble with a very lucky hand under that ball as well.
The Newcastle player gets his arm underneath it. James Fisher-Harris then loses possession of the ball onto the Newcastle arm. We have a decision.
So Fisher-Harris still has got the ball under his arm. Let's just tune in.
Really? Give him Matt the hot tip. He's not square. I action one against him at Croker. Mate, he's coming at me thinking he's square. He can take the tip or not. All right, where do you want it? Where do you want it?
So,
Scrum. Middle. We're going. Let's go.
no try, and Newcastle scrum.
Because you're not square.
Yeah.
Again, was it me that questioned Tyson Gamble's level of contribution for the game? He's put a try kick in. What about that? A try-saving tackle. Amazing stuff. As you said, his late movement of his arm saved that try, gets Newcastle off the hook.
Marju with the first hit up a dozen from that northern in-goal area as the Knights win the scrum, have possession, survive that raid and keep in the lead. 6 points to 4. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Quentin Hull, Matt Elliott and Bridget Murphy with you in the Hunter. Keep those messages coming in on 0467 920 222. We'll get to them if this game gives us a chance. It's been pretty hectic. Lucas, 15 from half play on the next carry as the Knights work their way upfield. To the right, Gamble onto Hunt. Fletcher Hunt, he's taken down by the tackle of debutant Luke Hanson. He got help from Halasima. Played 5 Knights side of halfway. Saifidi tracks into attacking territory. He's 48 out when grassed. Last place is referee Kennedy. It'll be Gamble's kick. High. Underneath it to a peaky. About 15 out. He's caught and hammered by Gagai as soon as he catches the ball. But he defuses the bomb. And the Warriors will start this set. 15 from the southern end. Hanson passes infield to Tuivasa-Sheck. Great energy from Crossland to get in his face. Great line speed. RTS steps off the mark. And now plays the ball to Hanson, who you have to look pretty closely. He's got a similar body shape and similar sort of coloured hair to his halves partner in Tana Boyd. So Hanson, of course, made the move from the Penrith junior system across the ditch a couple of years ago, started their New South Wales Cup premiership and now gets a much-deserved NRL debut today as the Warriors beyond the 20 on the run there of Laban. End of the set and Boyd will kick from inside the 40, doesn't flirt with the touchline. High ball which Hunt gets under and catches on his 10, circles to the 20, now runs a little laterally, put down midway goal line and halfway. 20 minutes left in the first half. Newcastle lead the Warriors 6-4.
Well, we talked about who's not in this game and the amount of players that are out from both teams. Well, what about the quality of footy that we're witnessing here? They look like they've been playing together forever, these teams, and the aggression from both teams is just a joy to watch.
Right, lock in.
Played by Gagai here, just short of halfway. Now Sandon Smith to the left edge for Lucas. Oh, and 6 more again. That's got to be 7 or 8 already in the game. There's been a lot of wavy fisty from Liam Kennedy, and Bradman Best has tackled only 38 out.
And that stat about completions and the amount of sets you have is a little bit diluted when you actually see the power of getting repeat sets, because you go from having a 6-tackle set to an 8-tackle set here.
Mooney stands in the tackle, plays it 30 out for the Knights, passes right now. Gamble gives it on to Hunt. Tried to, well, it wasn't a harbour bridge, or was in between. Gagai got his hands in the way. I don't know whether it was intended for him or for Young, but Gagai knocked it on, cleaned up by Tuivasa-Sheck. The Knights lose the ball, and now the Warriors, well, they don't have to defend their line. Tuapiki runs beyond the 30. Is it just me, Bridge, or is this a really fast game of footy?
This is a very fast game of footy, and amplified, as you both mentioned, by these set restarts. It would be an absolutely thrilling game if the discipline was a little bit more locked down. But I echo what Matt said. Despite the troops that are down out of these sides, and particularly with the Knights, they're playmakers. They really come to play, definitely, here in Newcastle.
Bridget Murphy on the touchline as Clark is tackled just beyond halfway for the Warriors. Played to Egan. He dummies and then gives the pass to Tuapiki. He almost slipped the tackle of McEwen, but got stopped by Crossland. End of the set, and Tana Boyd from 38 out puts up a spiralling bomb, which is knocked on by Fletcher Hunt. Hunt then cleans up his own mess, but that was a great kick from Tana Boyd. It was a spiral, not an end over end, and it just drifted up in the breeze, and Hunt's made a meal of it. The Warriors will get a crack from a scrum here 10 metres out.
Well, as a fullback, you got to make those catches. You know, it was a great kick, but you got to make those catches. And have a look at, we talked about the speed of the game. You don't need to be an expert. You can see a lot of fatigue out there. Now, I can see this game opening up in the last 10, 15 minutes of this half.
So, centre field scrum for the Warriors, 10 metres from the Newcastle line. 6-4 to the Knights. Egan off the back takes it, gives it to the right for Tuapiki, but nice defensive read on that left edge from Best coming in to wrap up the Warriors fullback. 1-on-1, 10 metres out. Ford receives one man to the left and infield, and Jackson Ford is held up only 1.5 metres from the goal line. Just to the right of the uprights. Egan directs it left for Boyd, pops it up for Fisher Harris, the hit and spin. Oh, he's so close, Fisher Harris, only 0.5 metre out when he stopped near the padding of the post. Now to the left, Boyd, second man, gives it on to Hanson. Hanson's wrapped up by Gagai, the ball comes free. Gagai jumps on it, but the penalty goes to the Warriors. Knights were offside.
Yeah, Dom Young, he's calling getting off the line a bit too early. Gee, that's a tough call. I thought the defensive strategy there. He didn't call 6 again. Then after he did the rake, he called the penalty because he got offside there. I think that might have been a touch judge call, kid. Yeah, but Hanson decides to kick for touch. So Warriors have had a couple of opportunities to take the 2 points to level it up, but rolling the dice here. 6-4 the Knights lead. 16.5 minutes left in this first half. So back to the centre third for the settling hit up. It's taken forward by Fisher Harris. He's tackled 6 metres out. Another ping. Boy, it's like the bells are a constant sound here at Hunter Stadium this afternoon. As Leah Towers now only 5 metres out when tackled right edge. Egan passes left in centre field through Clark to Boyd, who's rushed at by Gamble and knocked down. Good tackle. Boyd will play it for the Warriors. 10 out in centre field. Egan passes left. Fisher Harris doesn't give it. Decides to hit and spin. Can't get through. That was disorganised. 5 out, 5 to the left of the uprights. Now Egan to the right. Boyd grubbers for the in-goal area, and Hunt bats it dead. And the penalty is going to go to the Warriors for the Knights being offside. He called him out. He called his name a couple of Trey Mooney he was talking to, told him to get onside, you're offside, and then he penalised him. There is a thing called game management by referees that I think needs to be included in it. He's taken the...
They're finally going for the 2, Matt. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I agree, but the refs also have some responsibility to be quite disciplined with players. Get back, instead of just calling 6 again all the time.
A few quick changes, interchange from the Newcastle Knights in that absolute flurry of defensive effort from the club. Captain Jacob Safidi off the field, Tyson Frizzell on, and also Pasami Solo on the field with Trey Mooney just subbed off.
So Frizzell and Solo, 2 of the 6 that Justin Holbrook can use. Niakure is one of the 6, 2 of the 4 that can be used of the 6. Still getting that vernacular correct, Matthew.
You haven't confused me at all. I've got that completely covered.
6 available, 4 can be used, and 2 have been used.
Are you back at this kick in, Q? Or is it going to hit the post?
What do you reckon, Rich? Is there PTSD for Tana Boyd with this kick 10 metres out directly in front from last year?
I think you can hear what the fans are hoping for here at Newcastle. Look, if he should get this one pretty easy peasy.
Knocks it over, 6-all. Tana Boyd kicks the penalty goal. Knights 6, Warriors 6. Let's get around the grounds. In the New South Wales Cup second half, Storm 14 lead the Jets 12. First half scoreline, Bulldogs 12 lead the Raiders 4. Here earlier today, Knights 32, Warriors 22. In the Jersey Flegg, second half, Dragons 10 lead the Eels 8. First half scoreline, Cronulla 4 lead Melbourne 0. Super Rugby Pacific, first half score. Queensland Reds 7 lead the Fijian Drua 6. Last quarter AFL, Suns headed for victory. They lead Richmond by 40 points. And after equaling the individual and partnership record, both J-Mac and C. Waller, they won the second of the Group 1s for the day, with Autumn Boy winning the Rosehill Guineas. So J-Mac now passes Damien Oliver, 130 Group 1 wins, and the combination of J-Mac and Waller passes TJ Smith and George Moore to be outright first with 55 Group 1 wins. Happening all over the place here. And of course, we've got the Tillies in the Asian Cup, along with 2 more footy games to come today. Now to a peak, he breaks a tackle up over halfway, comes to the fullback, and Hunt makes the tackle on his opposite number. Warriors, though, get to attack off the kick-off and from the first set from that play. Now Hansen left edge. He's caught down 15 metres from the left-hand touchline, 20 metres out. Last play for the Warriors as Boyd chips in behind the line, right to the goal line, and Leotawa outleaps Best to score for the Warriors, we think. Let's tune in.
Gee, have no try. Confirmed kick chase offside.
Kick chase offside. Okay.
Based on the live decision of Ali offside, we'll be supporting that.
Gee, that's a good call too from Liam Kennedy straight away.
Yeah, just looking at the replay there.
He now becomes actively involved in the play. We have a decision.
Yes, he did become actively involved. He caught it and planted it. That's a penalty to Newcastle. 6-all the scoreline here with 13 minutes left in the first half. If you're just tuning in, Morgan Gannon out of the game, the Warriors debutant from the UK Super League with a Category 1 head injury assessment.
Mitch Barnett on the field there. He was the one that created the space for Tuapiki after having a really quick play the ball there. The Knights middles are absolutely gassed here at the moment, Q. They need to hang on to the ball and be conservative and just play some really tight footy for a set or 2.
So Barnett, what are we here? March 21, the last time he played was June the 1st at Stadium Australia when he did his knee against South Sydney. Great to see a player of his calibre back in the NRL. Halasima Solo's got the ball after the Knights kick downfield from the penalty. Solo's taken 5 inside Newcastle territory. Now to the right, Mooney through Gamble. Gives it on to McEwen. Right edge, he's cut down by the tackle of Laban and he's lost the ball. Jermaine McEwen has lost the ball just as Newcastle was threatening to get into attack. Oh, I've got Mitch saying, don't forget the Women's PGA Championship. Yeah, that's on the Gold Coast as well. Hannah Green's doing there. Hold on, cricket update. 23 overs. New South Wales need 333 to win the Ruth Preddy Cup in the WNCL. Queensland Fire made 7 for 332. New South Wales is 1 for 129 in the 23rd over. They've had a dominant season, New South Wales, but 333 is a bit to get. So, great that you're on ABC Sport.
Way, though, aren't they?
We can bring it all to you. And of course your texts are coming in, but just haven't had the chance to get to them because this game is so quick. Ordonez Lesniak for the Warriors, 45 metres from the goal line he's attacking. Now right edge, Niokore on a gain of 10, 15 in from the right, 35 out, 11 minutes to the break. It's night 6, Warriors 6, high tempo footy in perfect conditions in the Hunter. You're hearing NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Next play, it's forward, going forward, and another ruck muck around, and another wavy fisty for the Wars. 6 more as by Malgas out there. He rolls down the middle third, gets taken 12 metres out. Egan to the right. Barnett puts Ford through in his 100th game in the NRL. Jackson Ford is gifted a celebration 4-pointer. Welcome back, Mitch Barnett. And how about you put the cream on your 100th cake with a try in the Hunter? Oh, great stuff from the Warriors. They lead now 10 points to 6.
Yeah, great skill by Barnett there, but it was all created by the ruck speed, the ruck before there. The Newcastle Knights middles just getting back onside too slow. Barnett comes straight through the middle of the park there. Short ball forward off to his right on his right hand shoulder. Gee, that's good skill from a prop, isn't it?
Oh, well, he knows these parts well, Mitch Barnett. But I don't reckon you could do any better if you're ever going to lay on a try for a fellow forward. How about doing it in their 100th game, Bridge?
Absolutely. And for Mitch Barnett, just absolutely setting that one up. I imagine it would have been extra satisfying. Of course, a former Knight recently locked down a new deal with another club. Newcastle was one of the clubs that he was interested, from what I've heard, in coming back to, but it just didn't work out. So I reckon that one was a bit extra satisfying for Mitch Barnett.
If you look at that ruck before, hang on, this is going to hit the post.
Tana Boyd just to the right of the uprights, just beyond the 10-metre line. Approaches, strikes, raises the flags. Warriors lead 12 points to 6.
Just going to say there, Q, the ruck before there, 2 Newcastle middles still on the ground and one slow to get back on side. So basically a 10-man defensive lineup on your try line makes it very hard to defend, doesn't it?
Ali Appin says, hey guys, great game. It does seem a fast one. Warriors now evening up the score with that penalty. That was a text from a moment ago. They're in front now, Ali, 0467920222. And Wayne from Mildura text, Bridge, you like this? Bridget, the fellas are allowed to express their allegiance, so we are welcome to you expressing yours.
Well, that's good to know. I feel very, very enabled right now.
Fletcher Hunt with the kickoff to Avasa. Catches and gives it to Barnett, who's got his left arm strap, which has been a part of his career, but no strapping around that knee, which has been reconstructed. Big run up to the 20. Now it's by Malga going forward, midway goal line and halfway when Dimitric's tackled. Egan gives it off his right shoulder to Niokore. 20 in from touch on the right, 15 from halfway as Murata. Niokore is tackled. Knights got the first try 4 minutes in, but the Warriors have been dominant since. 8.5 to the break. It's 12-6 to the visitors as the ball's played 5 from halfway by try scorer Ford. Egan with a dummy sees markers tardy, so pinches 10 before being stopped by the tackle there of Croker. Last play, Warriors. Boyd from 45 out kicks a high deep bomb. Hunt catches this one for the Knights and is tackled 15 from halfway. 15 from his own line.
Well, you always talk about sets after points, Q, and if you can get the opposition fullback catching the ball inside his 10-metre. Oh, and there's another error here by the Knights, and just surrendering field position 20 metres out from their own try line.
So, who made the mistake? Was it Sandon Smith?
No,
Yes.
Greg Marziu, I believe.
Oh, Marziu it was. So both of them were around a thanks bridge. Knights have got more defending to do now. As the carry from Barnett takes the Warriors to only 10 metres out. Niokore! He targets the left defensive edge, charges into him. They were offside. And now a sin bin. Fletcher Hunt is sent to the sin bin. As
I told you at the kickoff, Fletcher go.
repeated infringements offside defending their own line.
At least you have not been bad.
Here's Liam Kennedy.
All of a sudden we think this have long memories, mate. I came there, I warned you. You had no response to the action, and that's why he's in the bin.
Well, we know that he's been on this with all the 6 agains. So Fletcher Hunt, if he was not there, that was a try. And if he wasn't onside, that's hard to argue with that decision, Matt.
He has warned him a couple of times and penalised him twice as well. So the same player has just been caught leaving these try line too quickly.
So 13 on 12. Barnett again runs into the defensive crossland. He makes the tackle. Ball played 5 out. Egan flat ball onto Laban. Great defence on the goal line there from McEwen and others. Now Egan to the right, Boyd. Double cut out to a Peaky. His pass is batted backwards by Best into the hands of a teammate. The Knights have got it. Great defensive play from Bradman Best, put his hands up to prevent a Harbour Bridge pass, and he knocked it into the hands of Frizzell, and the Knights breathe a huge sigh of relief.
Absolutely they do, but again, possession here is very important. They've made errors in their last 3 possessions. They can't afford it in this set.
Best with a run, 25 from his own line. Now down the middle third, Gagai has a run with the Knights fans wanting to get a free trip downfield. They've had to defend stoutly as Solo down the middle third. Stopped 8 inside Knights territory. 6.5 to the break. Warriors lead 12 points to 6. Newcastle kick downfield. Sandon Smith at the end of the set puts it high and deep to Wataneza Lesniak's corner. Catches defensive right side, 15 from his own line. Runs over the 20 and there's about 23 from that southern in goal when stops. Wataneza Lesniak plays the ball there to Boyd. Giving it to Avasashek. A bit of a left edge exploration. He got past McEwen, but he couldn't get past Solor. Great kick return from RTS up to the 40. This high octane game continues at a big, high velocity. Infield runs Halasima. Tackled on halfway. Now Tana Boyd with a little right foot step before being tackled by Crossland. Warriors 42 metres out centre field. Coming to get the locals again. It's 13 on 12 with Hunt in the pin. And Gagai, as expected, has gone to fullback to cover there as they've had to shuffle other positions to counter for that loose man or that man down. Egan gives it to Boyd. End of the set. He bombs from 30 out. It'll come down on Gagai's head. Wataneza Lesniak out jumps in but knocks it on, I fancy, and then plants it. Referee Kennedy, over to you.
He was playing lock forward. Tom Kent has taken to the field, and from what it looked like through that set, of course, you got men playing different spots here, there and everywhere, but I imagine Phoenix Crossland will be in that lock position with Tom Kent slotting in a hooker or vice versa.
So that's 3 of the 4 from both teams used. Frizzell, Kent and Solor used off the bench. So still the options of Manalalua, Graham and Hopwood. For the Warriors, Vaimalga, Niakura and Barnett have been used.
Which arm hits the ball first?
Khan, Pereira, Stowers, Smith and Healy are the other 3 still available.
The back of Dallon's forearm first, and he knocks the ball on.
As expected.
Have a decision.
Yeah, Adam G agrees that is a knock-on from Dallon Wataneza Lesniak. And there's 5 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first half here at the Hunter Stadium. And the Warriors hold a 12 points to 6 lead, Matt Elliott.
Early in the half, you talked about the Knights having 70% of possession. It's almost turned around. So we're seeing the Warriors with 60% of possession, and now the turnover there is the ref's just got them back on side, and the crowd is not happy. Penalty, they're saying. Well, that's what I'm interpreting.
Yes. Well, something along those lines. May not be as straightforward as that, Matthew. There it is. They get it. The vote of 22,000 Novocastrians down the touchline bridge. The Knights get a penalty.
That could have been a try, the response that got from the crowd, absolutely. But the Knights just need to lock back down and pay attention to their discipline, as I said before. They've let this and how this game has gone just rattle them, and they haven't been able to claw it back, which is a lot of the Knights that we saw last season.
She's Bridget Murphy, he's Matt Elliott, I'm Quentin Hull. You're with NRL Saturday on ABC Sport as Best takes the Knights to halfway, and now Newcastle going to attack. Thomas Cant, as Bridge said, out there and tackled 42 metres from the goal line. There's a bit over 4.5 minutes left in the half. Knights scored the first try. It's been all Warriors since. 12-6 the score line to the men from across the ditch. Up towards the 30 goes the run of Lucas. Plays it on the left edge. Now to the right. Smith gives it on to Gamble. A bit lateral with the give on there to McEwen. Matt shaking his head. Didn't like the shape of that attack. Centre field though. Ball played. Now to the left. Cant gives it to Smith. Cut out to the edge. Marzio picks it up. Wataneza Lesniak can come in. Marzio buffets off a couple. Chucks them all infield. No teammate there. And it's taken by Leotawa of the Warriors. Marzio did everything right bar throw it to a mate. He went down the sideline after Dallon's bad defensive read. He buffed it off a couple, but he chucked it to where no Knight was.
Yeah, well, he was either going to go in a touch, so he He popped the cork there, took the gamble, and it didn't quite pay off for him, but that was some good attack there from the Knights, but they're under the pump here with a player down as we see
Lecker.
pump his way out of own territory.
Lecker the wrecker, up to almost the 30 on that carry. He looks much more at home when he's closer to the middle third. To our peaky tackled next play beyond the 30, and Boyd says, let's get out of here. Hand up for 5. Tana Boyd kicks at the end of the set for the Warriors. It pitches on the 20. Bobbles around. Gagai's got to come forward to meet it. He does. And he's reeled in by the kick chase, led by Mitch Barnett. What are you pointing at, Matt?
There's 7 Knights players not back anywhere near back, and we're just about to hit play 3.
Yeah, they're very slow to get back on side. Young almost to the 30 for Newcastle. Gamble gives it to Cant, and Thomas Cant tackled 11 inside Knights territory. 3 minutes to the break. Warriors lead 12-6 as Dom Young's now got it for the Knights. Little left one-handed offload out the back with 3 tacklers around him, but no great game for McEwen second phase. Stop 5 from halfway. Now left and centre field. Cant gives it on to Smith. Passes to Gagai. Oh, Gagai's pass goes along the ground. Marju cleans it up, and then he has to chuck it backwards so not to be tackled over the touchline. Then he cleans it up, but the touchy's flag is up out there. Belinda Sharp's out there, and she said that Marju's gone into touch.
Too late now.
She's watching it, and she's right.
She really gets it wrong. Oh, that was messy.
What I do know about 2026 footy, Q, is if you complete under 80%, you don't win games. And if you have a look at the Knights at 67 at the moment, as opposed to 88, there's the key stat for you, as boring as it can be.
Matt Elliott, you're never boring. It just makes sense, Matthew. The Padre with his words of wisdom on this NRL Saturday. Now the Knights are going to hold on. 2 minutes to the break. Great field position for the Warriors. Boyd, 30 out, left edge exploration. Laban gets through a tackle before Crossland gets him second time. He got through McEwen. Good tackle, Crossland. Back to right and centre field. Boyd offers it to the straightener of Barnett. Great to see him back playing footy, Mitch Barnett. He's the enemy in these parts now. Tackled 9 metres out. Played to Egan, given left. It's a beautiful pass from Debutante Hansen. He puts Halasima in. He cannot help himself but score tries. And Lecker Halasima extends the Warriors lead in the shadows of half-time. Warriors 16, Knights 6, kick to come. Only the 3rd game of the season, but already 4 tries for Lecker the Wrecker.
Yeah, well, Hansen did a great job there. They had all their shape over on the right-hand side. He identified a tied Knights player on the short side, but only 3 down where there should have been 4 defenders. Just went there, sits the ball up. Wow. That's a real... What about McEwen there? He just... he clocked off. He bunted off on that play completely.
He got rolled, I think, in the previous tackle. He was still catching his breath.
He's been looking a bit rusty, actually, for the last 10 or so minutes. I did notice a few plays ago that he had one of the trainers kind of, taking a look at him, and then he got back into the play because, of course, they're down a man. So keeping an eye on Jermaine McEwen, he's been really one of the Knights' strong defensive players. So to see him just letting one of his opposition markers just stroll through for a try, a bit concerning.
Yeah, the crowd was having a moment trying to convince the ref that it was a questionable pass, but it passes muster, not forward, and now Tana Boyd will try and convert. And really, it's been all the Warriors the last half hour of the game. Newcastle dominating early, scored the first try. And as I said, Knights had 70% possession early. Now the Wires have got the most of it. This will be the last play of the half. Boyd trying to convert 10 in from the left, and he's got it. Tana Boyd with 3 from 4. The hooter sounds for half-time. And the Warriors 3 tries to 1. Warriors 18, Knights 6 at half-time. And someone else has gone on. Tyson Frizzell's gone on report as well, just in front of you, Bridge.
We're just listening here.
For a range of things, but they're especially down this end of the field. You have started to clean up. We haven't had action. We haven't had an action.
Well, I don't know where the
microphone's gone off, but I'm close enough to it. Hang on.
So I don't think he was the one put on report. He's the one who's deputising as captain, who's been told why there's sin bins and penalties and 6 against.
Well, I haven't. Tyson Frizzell, one of the nicest blokes you'll meet. I haven't seen him that cranky ever. So he is not happy with the decisions of the referees, very much speaking his mind there. So, I mean, we'll see how that impacts the rest of the game. But, Q, we talk about, you know, the importance of playing a full 80 minutes of football. The Knights haven't even been able to play a consistent 40. So, troublesome stuff, but solid stuff from the Warriors.
Fletcher Hunt with the trial for Bomb 4 minutes in, and then Clark on 14 minutes, Ford on 31, and Halasima just before the break, the 3 tries for the Warriors. 18-6 half-time, Matt Elliott.
Well, I like Bridget's description of McEwen looking rusty. His teammates look rusty. Justin Holbrook, WD-40 at half-time, just spray it everywhere and just lube them up.
If you want to get in touch, 0467 920 222. Did you just say get the WD-40 and lube them up?
Well, they're rusty.
Yeah.
And how rusty did they look there for the last 10 minutes? McEwen wasn't on his own. They must have been quartered off each other. They're spending too much time at the beach, Bridget, and all that salt is just like getting into their joints.
I do see him at the beach quite a bit, so you might not be wrong.
So
I rest my case.
Matt Elliott says the Knights are oxidising here at Hunter Stadium on that point. We'll take a break. It's Newcastle after scoring the first try, trailing. The Warriors at Hunter Stadium lead 18-6. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. More coming your way after the news.
ABC News, I'm Eliza Getzi. The Defence Minister says Australia has not been asked to help keep the Strait of Hormuz open, contradicting US President Donald Trump. Mr. Trump earlier said he was surprised Australia has said no to requests for help with the US and Israel's war with Iran, and that Australia should get involved. Richard Marles says he won't provide a running commentary of the President's statements.
We are very much engaged in the effort of defending the states of the Gulf. We've not had a request from the United States in respect of the Straits of Hormuz.
Australia will send another $5 million in aid to civilians affected by the conflict in Lebanon. International Development Minister Anne Ali and Foreign Minister Penny Wong announced the $3 million will go to the World Food Programme and $2 million to the United Nations Children's Fund. Senator Wong says the government is gravely concerned by the expansion of the conflict into Lebanon, the loss of life and the displacement of more than 1 million civilians. She added Australia condemns the militant group Hezbollah for striking Israel and dragging Lebanon into the conflict. Some of the world's key religious sites have suffered a near miss after debris from an intercepted Iranian missile struck the old city of Jerusalem. More from the BBC's Sebastian Usher.
Where this impact site is only about 300 meters away, not just from Al-Aqsa Mosque, but from the Western Wall, obviously sacred to Jewish people, and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. So this really brought home, I think, to people the fact that the Iranian ability to continue with these strikes, even if they're not causing a large number of deaths or casualties, and the damage so far has not been that intense.
Meanwhile, festivities for one of the holiest days of the Islamic calendar, the Persian New Year festival, Nowruz, have been more muted in Iran this year as the war continues. In the city of Accra, in Iraq's autonomous Kurdistan region, home to many exiled Iranian Kurds, thousands of people braved rainy weather to climb a mountain holding torches, launch fireworks, play music and dance in traditional Kurdish clothing. The Kurdish region has faced near daily attacks from Iran-backed militias targeting US assets and Iranian Kurdish groups. Attendee Aman Mohammed said it was more important than ever to mark Nowruz.
Of course, I see that this year's celebration is unique compared to previous years. Our colleagues in eastern Kurdistan are exposed to severe attacks. Therefore, I see this year's celebration as very special, and I came here with a new spirit.
Back home, residents in the Northern Territory are bracing for wild weather, with tropical cyclone Narelle moving west through the Gulf of Carpentaria and set to hit the eastern top end later today. The warning zone extends from Nhulunbuy to Port MacArthur, including communities like Borroloola, Numbulwar, Ayangula and Gapuyak, and it also extends west to include Ramingining, Bullman and Nooka. Shanna Gamble from the Weather Bureau says Cyclone Narelle will bring destructive winds and heavy rain.
We're expecting that heavy to locally intense rainfall, widespread 150 to 200 millimetres of rain, with locally isolated rainfall totals of over 300 millimetres. Again, that rain could fall in a very short period of time, which can lead to flash flooding.
Meanwhile, in Queensland, as the recovery effort in the wake of Narelle begins, Telstra says 7 of its mobile phone sites are being upgraded after being affected by the cyclone. The company says power outages and flooding have affected sites at Oracoon, Cohen, Cape Flattery, Archer River and Napranum. Telstra North Queensland General Manager Rachel Cliff says while there's no confirmed time to restore those services, crews are ready to be flown in via chartered helicopter.
We've got crew on the ground, we've got choppers ready to fly, and as soon as it's safe to get up in the air, we will be getting out to restore services as quickly as we possibly can to these communities, because we know how important telecommunications are.
And South Australian Liberal leader Ashton Hearn has voted today in her Barossa Valley electorate alongside members of the community in the usually safe Liberal seat as part of the state election. Ms Hearn holds the seat by a margin of just under 12%, and One Nation is expected to poll strongly in regional areas and Adelaide's outer suburbs. You're up to date with the latest from ABC News.
12 teams, 3 cities, 1 dream.
Great shots on edge of the box, right foot strike, and 6 scores! Unbelievable!
ABC Listen, your home of the AFC Women's Asian Cup Australia 2026.
Dribbles to the edge of the area, strikes! Oh, it's in! What a wonderful goal!
One match live every day. Every Matildas game, every final. On ABC Listen. Just look for the green and gold Asian Cup button.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
15 out, last play Newcastle in the hands of Gamble, who kicks towards the attacking right. It's left out and caught by Fletcher Hunt. He scores the try. There's about 5 in the contest, then Hunt flies highest. And Newcastle get the dream start of the Hunter. 3 from the goal line under the black dot. Egan directs it right for the Warriors. Boyd, second man ball is beautiful. Puts Aaron Clark through a hole. And the Warriors return serve with a try. What service from Tana Boyd. Who is this guy? 12 metres out. Egan to the right. Barnett puts Ford through. His 100th game in the NRL. Jackson Ford is gifted a celebration 4-pointer. Welcome back, Mitch Barnett. And how about you put the cream on your 100th cake with a try in the Hunter. Tackled 9 metres out. Played to Egan, given left. It's a beautiful pass from David Hodhansen. He puts Halasima in. He cannot help himself but score tries. And Leka Halasima extends the Warriors' lead in the shadows of half-time. Warriors 16, Knights 6, kick to come.
ABC sports coverage of the 2026 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
And the kick was good for the Warriors to lead the Knights 18-6 at half-time. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Quentin Hall with you at Hunter Stadium. A huge day of sport, and Leg 2 of our NRL triple header comes your way from the Shire as the Sharks host the Dolphins. Andrew Moore and the team to set the scene.
And Q, it's, the weather's got a bit bleak here at Shark Park in the Sutherland Shire. There's been some thunder around. There's some of the darkest, scariest looking clouds you've ever seen. No rain at the moment, however, and looking out towards the east and northeast, there is still some sunshine watching the Jersey Flegg game where Cronulla Sutherland 4 leads Melbourne 0 2 minutes into the second half. In terms of this NRL clash to get underway in around an hour and a half, referee Gerard Sutton with Grant Atkins in the bunker. Teams to be finalised shortly, although we know front rower Tom Flegler is out of the Dolphins team to be replaced in the starting lineup by veteran Felice Kafusi. Both teams 1 win and 1 loss to start the 2026 season. Sharkies had a good performance first up, but were beaten by 20 points against Penrith in Bathurst last Saturday night, while the Dolphins, after a loss to South Sydney in round one, had a late comeback to beat the Gold Coast Titans a week ago. Luke Lewis, former Sharks premiership winner, good afternoon to you once again. We're keeping one eye on the weather, and we'll be keeping both eyes on the footy, because it's two teams with very contrasting styles, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like both sides are very even all over the park. And you're right, this weather is coming over. And I can't remember playing a game here unless it was a Sunday afternoon where it didn't rain. So I'm not surprised if it does bucket down. But I'm really liking a couple of challenges out there. The front row forwards, it's got a big challenge by both sides. The two fullbacks, Will Kennedy's been on fire for the Sharks to start the year. So those big Hamaso, Tabuai Fido, looking forward to that. But the halves combination in Isaiah Katoa and Cody Nikorima, I think if they can start well, they come up against Tricky and obviously Nico Hines, who have got a really good combination starting to build there. And it's Braden Trindle's 100th game as well. So a little bit of a milestone that the boys will want to play for. But this is a real arm wrestle game. I can't pick it, but I'll be picking the Sharks at home.
Well, we saw Braden Trindle absolutely dominate Gold Coast in round one, but he was really quiet against Penrith. Michael Carianis, good afternoon to you. How crucial is that battle in the halves today?
Oh, it's crucial, Andrew, no doubt. And we saw how poor the Sharks halves were last week against the Panthers. They just couldn't get on the front foot at all. You know, the only creativity came from Blake Brayley out of dummy half last week from the Sharks. So they're going to need more than that if they're going to win today. On the flip side, Isaiah Katoa, who's, a world-class player. Cody Nikorima had such a dream last year. Hasn't been able to reach those heights yet. It was his first real elite, consistent year in the NRL. So there's the hope for them that he can get back to that level.
One of the reasons we're keeping an eye on the weather is potential lightning around the place. And I know the Women's National Cricket League final at Cricket Central, which is out at Olympic Park, that has been postponed at the moment because of lightning in the area. It's a fair way from where we are, but there's some suggestion that could play a factor here leading up to the 5:30 kickoff. How important, Louis, is it that the Sharks don't get into a game of touch, which the Dolphins excel at? Because if points are on and defence isn't a key, Dolphins can score a stack of points.
Yeah, it's very important for the Sharks today. They can't afford to play touch football because I think the Dolphins are a really good team that can move the ball around. They like to find space. They've got speed everywhere. They've got guys who can think on the spot. So just off-the-cuff football suits the Dolphins. The Sharks today have got to come in with a brand of footy that the Panthers play. They've got to come in and be willing to build the game for 15, 20 minutes. They've got to be happy just to defend their line, and they don't have to score points on every play. That's the key for the Sharks. If they do that, when they get their opportunities, they will make the Dolphins pay. But if they try and go left side to right side and try and score on every play, it'll be a drop-a-thon, and then all of a sudden it becomes a game of touch football, and the Dolphins will be right in it.
And equally, Michael, I guess the Dolphins just can't afford to be swinging the ball recklessly from the start.
No, they're going to be in control because, the Sharks, are going to defend well and really start with a defensive mindset to start the game. But I feel like they could do some damage in and around the middle of the field with Hamaso Tabuai Fido. If he gets going off the back some quick play the balls, no Flegler hurts him, but Gilbert has been good to start the year. And I think Morgan Knowles at 13 has done a good job for the Dolphins.
I love Max Plath being back too. All right, so that's to come in the between game show after 5 o'clock local time. Katoni Staggs will join us, the Brisbane centre who scored the game-winning try for Brisbane against Melbourne last night. So Sharks Dolphins to come here at Shark Park. Back to you, Q, at Hunter Stadium.
Good on you, Andrew, and team. Look forward to hearing that League 2 of the triple header in the NRL today. As the teams return to the field here, let's quickly whiz around the venues. We've got full time in the first AFL game of the day. Suns, too good for the Tigers. Gold Coast by 68 points over Richmond. Most recent New South Wales Cup game to go to full time. Melbourne's beaten the Jets. Storm 20, Jets 12. That's full time. A first half score, Bulldogs 24 lead the Raiders 4. In the Jersey Flegg today, Parramatta has beaten the Dragons 12-10. Second half score, the Sharks lead the Storm 4-0. And the first half score in the Flegg, the Tigers 10 lead the Rabbitohs 0. In the Super Rugby Pacific second half, the Queensland Reds 14 lead the Fijian Drua 6. Reds 14, Drua 6. That's second half in Fiji. And in the A-League men, Macarthur FC 2 has defeated Auckland 1. Half time between Brisbane and Wellington, it's 1-1. And as Andrew mentioned, mentioned, Lightning has stopped playing the WNCL final. New South Wales is ahead on the Duckworth-Lewis Stern system at the moment at 1 for 129 after 23 overs, chasing originally 333 to win. And history at Rosehill today with Waller and McDonald combining for the first 3 Group 1 winners there. J-Mac is now 2 ahead of Damien Oliver on the individual, and that combination is now 2 ahead of TJ Smith and George Moore. Unbelievable. The slipper's still to come. Footy's back underway here. What have we got? Have the Knights got to come back in them? Warriors lead by 18 points to 6. They've got the ball at the start of the second half, and at the end of the first set thereof, Boyd gets to halfway for the Warriors and kicks downfield. It bounces in the in-goal area. Gagai didn't want to catch it first time, got a kind bounce, and he has taken 10 from his own line. There's still about a minute before it's 13 on 12, with Fletcher Hunt still in the sin bin. So as the Knights punch their way up from their own line, let's get to Bridget Murphy for news from the rooms.
Yes, just had a chat with Knights Director of Football, Chris James. He said this game has been over-officiated, and he's instructing his squad, and the coach, Justin Holbrook, is instructing his squad to adapt to that. And he said that they need to be more disciplined with the ball and with high effort. We'll just aim to get some notes from the Warriors momentarily.
Good on you, Bridge. And, of course, Morgan Gannon out of the game with an Cat 1 HIA, the man from the UK on debut in the NRL. That was early in the contest. Knights get to halfway, and Sandon Smith will kick Newcastle downfield. Tuapiki's there, well placed. Defensive right corner, catches it a couple of metres from his own line. Bit of a lateral kick return before Frizzell's there to wrap him up with Salor. And the Warriors will start this set, Matt Elliott, 10 metres from their own line. Early second half, Warriors 18, Knights 6.
Yeah, both teams get away to a positive start their cue to start this half, but again, there's just a little bit of fatigue in the Knights team, and again, very lucky there to dodge a 6 again, as a couple of players were miles offside.
And that applause you heard was for Fletcher Hunt returning to action as Tuivasa-Sheck has the ball for the Warriors. He's 15 from halfway, centre of the park when he'll play the ball for the visitors here. Egan passes right for Boyd, but from inside the 40, kicks downfield. Marju lets it bounce. It's a kind bounce for him. Luckily, it bounced infield to fullback Hunt, not away from the winger and over for a 40-20.
I think he was guessing he was going out in the full.
He was rolled the dice there, Greg Marju, and he got lucky, Matt.
Oh, very lucky, but I think he saw that ball going out on the full, but that was a bad decision, but as you said, got very lucky with that.
Best plays at Knights have it, 10 their own side of halfway left edge. Couple of passes towards the opposite part of the field, and McEwen takes Newcastle to within a couple of metres of halfway. Played to Crossland, give it to Frizzell. Frizzell rolls down the middle third with a gain of a dozen. Taken 40 metres from the Warriors line. Last place is referee Kennedy. It's in the hands of Newcastle's halfback Smith. Puts up a bomb. Wadaneza Lesniak leaps and catches pretty comfortably. Loses the ball, and then, there was a chance for it to be stolen by Solor, but he knocked it on. So Wadaneza Lesniak lost it under the pressure of Lucas. And then the crumbs could have been created into something more nourishing, but Solor knocked it on. Right in front of you, Bridge.
Yeah, so you can see Dylan Lucas has come out of the sheds at halftime ready to play some football. Immediately had contact on Dallin Wadaneza-Lesniak when he did go up to get the ball.
Fair tackle.
Newcastle players just making the tackle, just need perspective here.
And so Lucas did well to wait for Wadaneza-Lesniak to get his feet on the ground before nailing him in the ribs.
Yeah, it was a really good tackle and a forced error. Oh my God.
At this stage, the ball is backwards from the Warriors.
And Solor fluffs his lines.
And then they start playing volleyball, essentially, in the air between Bradman Best and Pasami Solo.
It's now a knock-on from Newcastle into a Warrior player. We have a decision.
Yeah. 18-6 too. That would have been just the tonic the Knights needed to give them momentum to try and haul their way back into this one. So no try, but they'll get another go, will they?
No,
because it's a Warriors ball. Yeah, so just a lost ball, not lost forward by Wadaneza-Lesniak. So the Warriors get the scrum off the Newcastle knock on.
I was about to say the WD-40's work, but he got it wrong because it's obviously on his hands. You got to catch that and just put it over that little piece of chalk there in front of you.
Yeah.
Bombed try.
Matt Elliott with you on NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. forward. Warriors with the ball. Jacob Laban smashed in a tackle. Play 2 off the scrum win. Crossland down low and Gagai up top. Put into deck. One man to centre field for Mitch Barnett. And this brings smiles to many faces to see him back from injury. Up to the 30 with his carry. First game back from an ACL last year. Now down the middle, Egan gains 10. 10 from halfway, the Warriors. Explore the right edge with a couple of passes to Niakure, but he can't get through. And he'll play it on 5. 15 in from the right, 5 his own side of halfway. Given blind side for Tana Boyd's kick at the end of the set. Deep kick for Fletcher Hunt, who catches it. The Newcastle fullback on the 10-metre line, runs laterally with the kick return and really didn't gain much. He's taken by Laban out on the defensive left edge. Right side for the Knights, 15 from their own line. One man infield to Young. Dom Young, the dreadlocked winger, up to the 20. And I get 6 more here, the Knights. Now Marju, who's got more the corn road look. He's up to the 30, the opposite wingers. They look like they go to the same hairdresser, but just do their own, do a little bit of their own styling with the said same platform of hairdo.
A bit like you and me, mate.
Yeah.
Nothing can be worse, though, than the year the Knights turned up in round 2 with all bleached blonde hair. You couldn't tell them apart.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago. It was horrendous.
I'm having a bit of a trouble just working out Boyd and Hansen. First time seeing Hansen. They look blondies, very similar, playing in the halves together with that white playing strip. Anyway, Knights have got the ball. They're 35 metres out. They've got 3 plays left. Make it 2 plays left in this set. To the right, Brazil gives it to Gamble. Harbour Bridge past to Young on the edge. Over the 30, over the 20, up to the 10. And 3 defenders are there to stop him. Only 2 metres from the goal line. To our Peaky was there among them. The fullback getting across. Now last play. Give it a Gamble. Grubbers for the in-goal area. And to a Peaky does a great job to shield it dead without touching it. Does he? No, he touched it right at the last moment, the Warriors fullback. It's a goal line dropout.
Geez, a great pass by Tyson Gamble. You know what? Dom Young did the right thing here. He backed himself, but made sure he didn't go into touch. So it gives him the opportunity to put this kick on last play. And Tyson Gamble shows up yet again.
Oh, gee. His hand just touched the ball as it was about to hit the ground, about a metre from the dead ball line, but that's another good call from the referee. Dropout's a long option to halfway, taken by Solo, and he charges back, and Barnett crunches him. You reckon he's missed footy? Oh, feel that up here. And Simon Solo gets up just holding his shoulder for a moment. Frizzell tries to go forward. Tackled, but gets an offload. Second phase Knights. Space for Cant in the middle of the field. He's going to be put down. Thomas Cant for Newcastle, 27 metres out. Knights on the attack. They trail 18-6 to the left. Smith gives it to Hunt. Hunt's pass is knocked on by Lucas. That didn't look all that organised, and the building expectation in the Hunter now is disappointed in. Well, what Lesnat looked at everyone, thought, what am I going to do here? Just, no, I'll pick it up and I'll play on. So he goes on a run, eventually gets tackled, and gives a pass away to Hansen, and he stopped. And now the Knights do sort of mark up in defence, and the Warriors settle up to get out of their own zone, take the ball up to within the 30-metre line.
Newcastle Knights cannot afford to make errors like they just made there, and particularly Hunt passing the ball to Lucas there. Just giving the ball early. He's such a strong ball carrier. Poor decision.
Eric Clark charges over halfway. 45 from the Knights line as he plays the ball for the Warriors. Now Boyd pops it up for Jackson Ford. Celebrated his 100th game in the NRL with a try in the first half. Jackson Ford, he's put to deck here, centre third, and 35 metres from the Newcastle line. Plays the ball to Egan. Given right for Boyd at the line. Pops up the pass. No way through for Vaimalga. And Demetric Vaimalga is tackled 20 in from the right and about 26 metres out. Last play for the Warriors. Given blind side for a Tana Boyd bomb. It's shallow. It'll come down about 5 from the goal line. Hunt leaps, loses the ball, but the penalty was taken in the air. He was, a man underneath him, an ungainly tumble, but he's up and okay. Penalty Newcastle.
Yeah, the Warriors are contesting it, but the referee's got this 100% right. As the chaser came through, we hit him while he was in the air. You can't argue that.
Reg, on one of our listeners' texts, I'm off the internet. Please can you advise me of the kick-up time for the Tillies tonight? 8 o'clock Sydney time, 7 o'clock north of the Tweed. Of course, our broadcast gets underway at 7:30 Sydney time. Ned Hall leading our call of the Asian Cup final between the Matildas and Japan. Depending on where we're at in the league and in that game, on local radio will get you there at the end of the league, but you can hear it at any time on ABC Listen from 7:30 local time. As mentioned, the ABC Listen app with the Asia Cup button, that green and gold button. So kick off at 8 Sydney time tonight, Reg. Thank you for that message. Knights have got the ball. They're on their own 40, shifting it right. Gagai's got it, but it's going to be dragged eventually to deck by Hansen and Laban. But a good run from Gagai. Gets to half-play. Played to Crossland. Gives it infield to Brazil. I don't know about you, Matt, but the Knights just look like they've settled a little bit after the half-time break. 9 minutes of this second half, still Warriors 18-6. Right side play, and nice defence there from Hansen and Halasima to cut down the run there of McEwen. Into the set, given to Gamble from 35 out. His bomb is too deep for his teammates to challenge. Easily taken by Tuapiki, who's tackled 5 from the Warriors line.
I find that hard to argue that it was too deep or hard to contend for, but what a great kick chase it was there, and they trapped the Warriors inside their own 10 in that first tackle, but a shift to their right-hand side.
Mitch Barnett, one in from the edge, runs into Best and others and gets tackled. By the way, Reggie says, thanks Glenn. I know Glenn can usually be here. Glenn's in Gosford to do the third game tonight between South Sydney and the West Tigers. We've got all hands on deck. Good on you, Reg. It's Quentin Hull here with Matt Elliott and Bridget Murphy as Ford rolls up to halfway.
Oh, sorry, mate. I've been calling you Glenn all day.
No, that's okay, Louis. Here go the Knights into the Warriors into attack as Boyd kicks the ball high and deep downfield. Marju takes it. Defensive left corner, 10 from his own line. Runs infield, runs into the tackle of Vaimalga, and that's where the Knights will start their set, 20 metres from their own line. Oh, this has been a hectic pace in warm conditions. Dom Young is now standing in a 3-man tackle. Stopped 15 from half-play. Given the ball there from a cross-landed dummy half to Gagai. Running infield. He's picked up and driven back by Mitch Barnett. This has been an awesome return from the Origin enforcer. Oh, as a New South Wales fan, I could smile more freely in these parts seeing Mitch Barnett come back and play like this. He's playing awesome today.
Isn't he? What? Normally, coming back from an ACL, there's a bit of confidence that needs to be acquired, speed, but none of that seems to be an issue with Mitch at all.
Gamble bomb, Hunt flies against Tuapiki, but the Warriors number 1 makes the catch. And Newcastle's end of set is diffused by the leaping, diminutive Warriors fullback, and the Wars have got the ball. Half an hour to play here, still no change from that halftime score. Warriors 18, leading the Knights 6. What an Aza Lesniak has a run. He's taken 20 from touch on the right, just shy of the 30. One man infield for Leatawa. And Ali Leatawa meets the defence there. It's led by McEwen, about a dozen from halfway. Good quick play the ball, and a dozen on the gain up to halfway on the next carry. 3 men there around the ball carrier and Clark, who scored a first half try. Frizzell's mucking around in the ruck. Ref says, no, just play footy. Boyd runs it on the last. Tana Boyd, a dummy, beats 2, has support on Fisher Harris on the inside. Big Fish, he's got 12 to go. He reaches out, he slams it down. James Fisher Harris, the most unlikely backer-upper you'll ever see, and he scores another Warriors try.
Well, that all starts from that untidy play the ball, Q, and what you see there. What about Tana Boyd? Gets the ball on last play, gets the player racing at him, dummies, makes a clean break down the right-hand side, and he looked inside. I think he had to look a couple of times. Is that James Fisher Harris? That's a front rower. Where's he come from?
Well, isn't that your word, backer-upper, Matt? Down to you, Bridge.
Well, he only just returned to the field. That was his first touch after being subbed back on. So James Fisher Harris was only just put back on for the Warriors, and then immediately scores a try. So fantastic stuff from the Warriors there. The Knights just need to lock down this defence to stop this from getting any worse.
Well, the issue is all possession. Modern footy's about possession. You can't afford to give the ball away simply like the Knights have done already in this half. The Warriors, they've got the poise. They'll make you pay. And Tana Boyd on last play there. Take a bow, mate. That was really smart play.
And it was quite dramatic, the fact that Dane Gagai did a really good job of making the tackle. Basically stopped him a metre out, but the Fish was able to keep the ball-carrying arm above the ground around, slammed it down. That's 4 points for the Warriors to go 22-6 ahead.
I love his celebration. Got up with a stern face and like, what do you expect? I scored a try.
Yeah, bang.
Don't ever try and tackle me again, mate. Well, that was, I was reading his lips. Very good at letting it go.
Very good. You see, you brought Bakaruppa into the lexicon.
Into the lexicon?
Yeah. Fisher Harris.
I'm going to have to go online. Hang on, I'm just going to check.
First try this season. Tana Boyd, 11 in from touch on the right. Knight scored the first try. Warriors the next 4 in the game. And Boyd's right boot shaves the far upright but goes through. He's kicked 4 from 5. And the Warriors now lead the Knights by 24 points to 6. And we've still got 27 minutes left in the game here at Hunter Stadium. You can get in touch on NRL Saturday on ABC Sport on 0467 920 222.
Q, worth making a mention, the Newcastle Knights have made a substitution. Francis Menulelelua is making his debut, the number 17. He was put onto the pitch just before that try. Pasami Solo come from the field and is on the sideline.
So Harrison Graham and Cody Hopwood not required for Newcastle today. That's our 4th interchange player from Justin Holbrook. And he's on to boot, Kiwi born, and another of those from the Penrith system, but a big thrill, no doubt, to make your debut against anyone, but particularly against the Warriors, you'd think, for Francis Menulelelua, 21 years of age, out there in jumper 17 for the Knights. Thank you, Bridget. Kickoff's effective, and the try scorer, Fisher Harris, first run just beyond the 10. Now Tuivasa Sheck runs up to the 20. By the way, Matt, you see any way that Newcastle can get back into this game, getting beyond them a bit now at 24-6 as Laban gets up to the 30.
There is a way back in, and modern footy's taught us that, but you need to control the ball. I might have said it 20,000 times already, but their respect for possession has cost them this game, in my opinion.
Clark almost a halfway quick, play the ball. Egan feeds Ford, and Ford is ungainly, put to his back in a 2-man tackle, but a quick play the ball at the end of the set. Again, it's Tana Boyd, 40 from the Knights line with a bomb. Marzu knocks it on in leaping against Wadanay Zalesniak. It's caught by Leotawa. He's tackled. Fresh set. Warriors 12 metres out. Marzu unable to catch that bomb from Tana Boyd, who's had a big hand in this yet again today, with Luke Metcalf, of course, still on the sidelines, the major playmaker for the Warriors. Forward goes Laban. Now it's Ford's turn. Bang, bang, 1-2. Ford stopped only a couple of metres from the padding of the post at the southern end. Plays the ball to Egan. Passes left. Boyd holds it up for Barnett. 3 around him. Crossland, the man to complete the tackle. Barnett plays it to Egan. Given right for Boyd. He'll score. He deserves it. He's been terrific today. Tana Boyd goes himself and almost untouched under the black dot. The Warriors seemed headed for a 3rd straight win to start 2026. We've still got 25 minutes to go. But on this warm Newcastle Saturday, it might be floodgates starting to open. 28-6 kick to come.
Yeah, I just want to go back to the start of that set and say, Wadanay Zalesniak, how many times has he competed for the high kick today? The Tana Boyd's kick was on the mark there, but they're just next to the post, right on the try line. Doesn't even shape to his outside, just sees the space, hits the nos, goes straight under the sticks. That is way too easy. You can't score under the post untouched like that. Oh, well, hang on, Lucas did touch him. It was like playing Oz tag. He grabbed hold of the flag. Come on, mate, come back and play the ball.
Not a meaningful touch, Matthew. And it is, the broken record. But Tana Boyd, he has just gone to a new level in the last, later stages of last year, but particularly to start this season.
Hang on, let's not jinx him. He might hit the post. I know he's right under the sticks.
You wouldn't hit the post from here. He's 10 metres out straight in front.
What I will say, and we talked about it at the start of the game,
as Boyd knocks it over for 30-6.
When someone shows confidence in you, Q, and gives you and empowers you, that's when you get to find out whether you can play your best footy. And I just don't think in other occasions, we've only got debuted as a very young player
at a club that was struggling.
Yeah. but you can just see that he's in control of this game, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
And his teammates around him respect that and are just tying into him. His start of the season, it's been mind-blowing. I can't believe his improvement.
Around the grounds, New South Wales Cup second half. Bulldogs 28 lead the Raiders 10. Jersey Flegg second half. Sharks 12, Storm 4 as the Knights kick off and 2 of Arsa-Sheck taken just short of the 20. First half Jersey Flegg, West 16 lead the Rabbitohs 6. In the Super Rugby game in Lautoka in Fiji, the Reds lead the Drua 21-6. That's full time now. The Reds have won. Reds 21 have beaten the Drua 6 earlier in the AFL. St Kilda, should I say, Gold Coast. Gold Coast beat Richmond by 68 points. Do the others in a moment. Because Ford's made a line break off a pass from Class. He got an ankle tap, or did he just fall over? He went to Dak. He got an ankle tap. He stopped 35 metres out. Still a couple of plays off this set from the kick-off for the Warriors. Egan out a dummy half. Goes himself and gets tackled. 15 in from the right. He's slow to get up. Wade Egan. So while he has a look there, I'll say that the cricket, the WNCL finals had a lightning delay. So Queensland Fire made 7 for 332. New South Wales women ahead of the DLS when lightning stopped play 23 overs in. And what do we got? A-League as well. Second half, Raw 1, Wellington 1 still. So what have you seen there, Matt? He's getting a thumbs up.
I think his head hit the back. He was looking for a crusher tackle. He's got a bit of form. It's his second go at trying to get one. He's none out of 2.
None out of 2, and this is the last play. Boyd from 30 out, puts up a bomb at the end of the Warrior set. Shallow bomb. Hunt leaps, knocks it backwards. Cleaned up by Saifiti. That's okay for Newcastle. They've got the ball, and the Knights desperately need to complete a set here, and Saifiti was held on to, so they've got a penalty.
Didn't they need that? Because look at their players still getting back on side. There's the petrol. I know it's expensive at the moment, but I don't know what station they're going to go to fill up because they're looking very empty at the moment. They need the diesel.
It's worth mentioning we've had quite a few shortages across the Hunter with some petrol stations going out, so maybe that's what this is.
That's it.
That's it.
The WD-40's not working either.
No.
Well, you'll be happy to know I've got the East Coast tour. I'm heading up to Townsville tomorrow. Big shout out to our listeners in the far parts
Sorry
of the
to cut you through,
Yeah,
Hugh.
go. What's that?
Wade Egan's being taken from the field, I believe, potentially for a HIA. We'll see what's going on. In that tackle exchange where he was, Dylan Lucas did get contact to the head. He was grabbing at the back of his head. So I'll try to get some more answers what's going on down here.
And Sam Healy becomes the last of the quartet to be activated. So Healy by Malnga, near Corey and Barnett, the 4 activated off the bench for the Warriors. Right side shift from the Knights. Gagai tried to play hot potato with winger Young, but knocked it on. Tried to bat it to him. Yeah, I was about to say the shorty. I sent heading to Townsville tomorrow for the North Queensland Gold Coast game. Sent out messages to Laurie Spinney. You ready to go for another season? Great man. He goes, yeah, Q, ready to go. Bring some diesel. We got a shortage up there. So I don't know whether I can do that, Lots. I can't bring some diesel up north. But if you're listening to us in any of those areas afflicted by Cyclone Narelle, I hope you're staying safe. And if you've got the battery charge radio, getting your emergency updates and hearing the footy, stay safe. Our thoughts are with you up there.
Well, Dane Gagai was trying to contest the knock-on, and I just suggest that it probably wasn't a great idea.
Just checking it. Was Fletcher Hunt taken late? Are they having a look at that?
Dane Gagai's hands touch it just prior to the red line, and the ball goes forward and lands on the red line. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Adam G in the bunker, not a popular man here at the Hunter. If you are just joining us, Knights scored first after 4 minutes, but then the Warriors scored 3 tries before half-time to lead 18-6, and they've scored 2 cents to make it 30 points to 6. We've got 22 minutes left in the game.
Again, sometimes there's really simple things about this game, and you and I spoke about it in the first half, but when you've got a completion rate around 65%, your fans can't expect you to win.
Yeah.
You can't win with that in modern rugby league. It's just not possible.
So Tower first carry for the Warriors. He's fired from halfway. Next play, no great gain for Healy. So Sam Healy's out there, halfway, played and given to the left. Oh, Barnett just pushes away from Gamble before it being stopped 40 out.
It's really interesting to make this comment. Mitch Barnett's playing left back row, by the way. He's playing edge, not middle.
And now a shift to the right side. Laban's put down, 30 metres out. They're coming to get him again here. The Warriors want more blood in the Hunter. To the left, a dummy in straightened from young debutant Hansen. He's put down and the tackle is Saifidi, 15 out on the left. Back to the right for Boyd. He chips for Wadaneza. Lesniak. Dallin leaps, catches, passes. Ford is in the end goal but held up and pushed back by four Knights defenders.
No try, confirmed Jacob knocks the ball over the try one piece.
Oh, and they reckon he's knocked it on as well. But boy, that was well executed. Bar the cavalry arriving late and swarming around Jackson Ford, who was looking for a second try.
Yeah, the Newcastle team being behind it isn't about their effort or their ability. It's just the amount of defence they've had to do.
And having a look on the big screen here, saying that Ford knocked it on. I didn't see that. We couldn't. There had four men around him. And yeah, he does drop it.
Jackson Ford then loses possession over the goal line. We haven't seen it.
Oh boy, the Knights needed that. If there's any hope, it would have gone almost to snowballs if there was another score with 21 to go and 30-6 the scoreline.
Look, I cringe when I hear commentators talk completion rates all the time, but when you compare one over 90 and one way under 70, there's your difference.
Yeah.
You want to ask a question, or how do they not win, or how do they not compete? There's your answer.
Yeah, Matt Elliott breaking it down for you, NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. By the way, if just see the Knights getting up towards halfway here. If you are listening on analog radio in Sydney, you are going to be getting updates about the thunderstorm. So if you want to hear that, of course, stick with us. They'll be in and around the footy. If you want to listen to the footy uninterrupted, of course, the green button on ABC Listen. You can also check out ABC Sport Rapid now, even closer to the action of the footy. As Bradman Best just stone cold drops the ball on a left side shift for the Knights. He was looking at the defence, and Bridge, did he have a look at you there before he dropped the ball? Because something distracted him. He dropped it cold.
Well, I'd like to think that's the case, but I don't think so. It's just silly mistakes here that are basic football. Hold the footy. They had such good momentum there, and it looked like it was going to be one of those typical situations of cruise it down the sideline, give it late to Greg Marziu, over for a try, which was how they got toward the finals in 2023. We know that's winning streak they had. So it just, confidence or something has fallen apart with this Newcastle side this afternoon.
Bridget Murphy down on the touchline. Of course, after this, we're off to the Shire for the Sharks versus the Dolphins, and then at South Sydney and the West Tigers later tonight. And that option there for you, the Asian Cup final on ABC Listen starts 7:30 Sydney time at 6:30 north of the Tweed, with kickoff at 8 local, 7 Queensland time, Australia versus Japan. Fisher Harris plays it. Warriors on the attack again. He's 40 out as he plays it. A gain of a dozen and an offload from Clark. Kept it alive. Second face to Healy. Healy's tackled only 18 metres from the goal line. Newcastle once again down the southern end, gasping for air and looking for holes to fill to try and stop this surge. Run from the Akure right edge. He's tackled on 5. He's only 11 out. Healy distributes. Last play to Boyd. Boyd chips towards the goal line. Was there a disruptor there? There's players going down everywhere. Gagai's caught it. Ref says play ball, Knights ball. Gagai's got it. As Gamble's down, and there was a Warriors player that crashed through as well. These days, when you see that in your periphery, Matt, you just sort of wonder how did all the 10 pins go down. But no whistle as Marshall's over the 20.
Yeah, again, what a great carry there by Marshall. I keep getting evidence that this Newcastle team has potency in it. They're just out of petrol completely.
Crossland with a 40-20 attempt. Oh, great effort inside the 30. He's missed it by half a metre, I reckon. Where's Belinda Sharp going to stop? Oh, no, it's changed. Nearly. Yeah, metre from the 20. I reckon that's about right. I don't think he got it. It was a good kick.
It's a player there blowing up Deluxe.
Tyson Gamble.
It was your line too, Bridget, down that end. Even though it's the far touch line to you.
I mean, yeah. Sorry.
okay. You don't have to be Newcastle-y right here. If it didn't make it, it didn't make it. It would have been good for the Knights, wouldn't it?
What I do know is I just had a chat with the HIA officials here at Category 2 for Wade Egan, so here's a chance to return.
Yeah, and earlier today, Morgan Gannon, who's the recruit from Leeds for the Warriors, he went out with a Cat 1 HIA, so he won't be playing next week against the Tigers at Mount Smart, as Tuivasa Sheck has the ball for the Warriors, who have got it 15 their own side of halfway, 17 minutes to go. 30 points to 6 for the Warriors. We're looking to go 3-0 to start this 2026 Premiership season. Jackson Ford, next man to go forward. Taken short of halfway. Dummy half Healy, give it a Clark. Flat ball, Boyd breaks one tackle, almost gets to the second. And then he's offloaded it, given it to Lucas of the Knights. Lucas has tackled Newcastle's ball, 10 their own side of halfway. Boyd with the tackle break and then tried to give the offload, did give the offload, but gave it to the opposition.
He must have called for there, Lucas, because he was in perfect support position there. Tana Boyd would be a little disappointed with himself there, but again, makes a great break and shows some great balance to get through the defensive line.
Newcastle into attacking territory, right edge McEwen with a run. Now back to the centre third, couple of passes, ends up with Sandon Smith, who has been shut down everywhere today. No way through for him. Tackled 42 out, plays it to Crossland. As the Knights roll down the middle third and they get to within 32 metres of the line on the carry there of Croker. Plays it on the Crossland. Last play, Knights. Gamble puts up a bomb from 30 metres out and it's caught by Tuapiki. He's reeled in immediately by Hunt, and Tuapiki will play it a couple of metres from the goal line at the northern end. 16 minutes left in the game. Warriors 30, leading the Knights 6. Quentin Hull, Matt Elliott and Bridget Murphy, your company at Hunter Stadium on this NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. Warriors up to the 10, still deep in their own half on the carry there of Tuivasa Sheck. And now Halasima scored another try today, Lecker, but he's put down there. This has been a good defensive set from the Knights. Mooney making the tackle. Now Tuapiki receives, dummies, but can't split the defensive line there. Saifidi and Gagai make the tackle. End of the set, Boyd's going to have to kick for territory here from his own 20. Boots it downfield. Hunt catches on his own 30, up to the 40 untouched. Now sees the defensive line on halfway and stopped just before getting there. Your hands are in the air, Matt. What was that?
Jackson Ford, that's his 39th tackle. He's carried the ball for over 200 metres. He's playing in the middle of the field. He's been out there the whole time. Come on.
And he's got up there in the face of Fletcher Hunt there to ensure that that kick return didn't come to much. Margie's rushed at by Boyd, bumped off him, but 3 others around him. Yeah, the defensive intensity of the Warriors. It's great for Warriors fans to see here at the Hunter. Newcastle shifted right off, pass goes to Deck, cleaned up by Young out there. They're hoping now, rather than constructing Newcastle, and Young has to stop, catch the ball, gets tackled. Out on the right, 35 from the Warriors line. They still haven't scored a point since the Fletcher Hunt try, which was, and conversion, 4 minutes into the game. Last play Newcastle, there's 14 and a half to go. They trail 30-6. Gamble runs at the line, gives it to Smith, left side play, Best, catch and give. Marju should go in. Oh, he stops, but he does go in. He buffeted off the covering defensive by Mulga, and eventually he scores. I don't know why he didn't pin the ears back and go for the corner. He scored the try. Don't want to be too critical, but it was right in front of us. Matt was concerned for a moment. He gets it done. Knights get a try. Warriors 30, Knights 10. Kick to come.
Well, it's a big shift to their left-hand side, and Bridget described it perfectly last time when Bradman Best dropped the ball. This time he catches it, gives early ball to Marju. I think he did the right thing, because if he went from the corner there, he could have got bundled out. Showed some real balance and strength.
Very smart in my mind for him to stop there. I could see that, because Greg Marzu, while being quite a built guy, he is not the biggest really in comparison to the forwards he's going up against on these edges sometimes. So very, very smart, but I think also very, very lucky. But we see Sandon Smith lining up for a conversion.
So Sandon Smith from 2 metres in from touch on the left and 22 metres out.
And the ball has come from the tee. I will tell you, it is getting a bit windy down here, so struggling a little bit with the ball there.
So he's kicked 1 from 1 today, and the opportunity that he's had off that Fletcher Hunt try early.
I'm feeling a bit concerned, because I'm 100% in my drive home from Newcastle.
As Smith Warriors 30, Knights 12. Just before Matt's concerns, New South Wales Cup second half, Bulldogs 28, Raiders 22. Jersey Flegg second half, Sharks 22, Storm 8. Also second half, West Tigers 16 lead the Rabbitohs 12, and the Reds won that Super Rugby game completed a short time ago by 21 points to 6. What was your concern, Matthew?
In my 11 years of doing this, Q, there's not been once I haven't driven back to Sydney and encountered a massive storm that you have to drive at about 40k an hour.
So every time you come back to Newcastle, you reckon that cues rain for your drive back?
Someone's got something against me.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It's Bridget's the local. She'll be able to tell you if you're going to get rain or not. Saifidi charges up to the 20 off the kickoff.
We've had delightful weather in the last few weeks.
Well, there's storm activity in Sydney.
Maybe it's you that's brought it, Matt.
Well, it's chasing us because it's heading this way.
Gagai to the 30. Now Sandon Smith to the left edge onto Lucas, and Dylan Lucas can't get through. Dylan Lucas will play the football there to Crossland. Given to... almost through goes Croker. And they kept it alive. Pass for Hunt. Hunt to the 30, up to the fullback. Gets through Tawapiki, but Halasima comes from behind. Leka Halasima makes the tackle. Hunt's only 15 out in the right. Pass to centre field. Sandon Smith's got it. Goes back to the right. And, what's going on there? It's chucked out the back. It's kept alive by Croker. He's picked up and dumped eventually. Nice, solid tackle made by Tuivasa Shek on that player out the right edge. Now pass infield. Smith had to go to a knee to catch it. Lost his momentum. Goes forward, gets tackled. 5 metres out. Knights looking for back-to-back tries. Here's a dummy and go, but no way through for Croker. He stopped while standing underneath the black dot. Hunter fans want more points. Crossland delivers it right. Hunt flat-footed, gives to Gagai flat-footed. They're looking at each other thinking, what are we doing here? And Gagai gets tackled. Matt shaking his head. And now the referee's going to blow it up for something.
Phoenix Crossland made a decision to go to the right there instead of the left. Made the best shape and numbers out here on this left-hand side, where they just scored a try, by the way. They would have strolled over it yet again. So that was a poor decision from dummy half. I can tell you, Sandon Smith was a tad upset about the dummy half going the wrong way. Just a tad. He hit it really well, kind of.
11 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock here. Warriors 30, Knights 12. NRL Saturday on ABC Sport. The crowd's just having a look at these replays. I'm not quite sure what are they angry about?
So we've had a break in play because the trainer
Gagai's used his elbow. Sorry, Bridge. Gagai's used his elbow on the head of one of the Warriors players.
Yeah, so essentially the initial frustration was that the Warriors had stopped play to get a player assessed by a trainer. That trainer stuck the finger up in the air to say all good. Knights players blowing up about again another stop in play, and I think that's just leading to a lot of tensions boiling over. But now Warriors with the ball.
And kicked for and found touch out on that eastern side, 10 metres from halfway. And the golden slipper has been run and won. No, it wasn't Waller and McDonald this time, because McDonald wasn't on. I think he was on a Waller horse. Yeah, he was on Fireball. No, Guesthouse. Zach Lloyd, the young star. Mick Price and the Kent Price team. Guesthouse, number 3's won the golden slipper there in rainy conditions at Rosehill. So I reckon you might get rained on, Matt, driving home, as the Warriors are within 40 of the Newcastle line with 10.5 left here. Boyd on a solo run left edge, gets taken by the tackle of McEwen, plays it there to Egan. Now it was Hanson previous run, in fact. Similar look to Boyd, as Boyd now feeds that on to Fisher Harris, straightening run, tackled 25 out, plays the ball to Egan, passes right, Boyd running laterally, feeds it onto Niakure, 3 around Murata Niakure on that attacking right edge, and he's stopped 15 in from the right wing side and 15 from the Knights line. Last play, Boyd has a run, then Grubbers fielded by Hunt under the black dot, gets a clap from the Knights fans and from Matt. Hunt prevents more points at the end of that Warriors set, and the Newcastle side have a 10 from their own line, as Young now with the next carry towards the 20.
Yeah, and again, some great quality there in the Newcastle defence defensive line for that whole set because they got asked a heap of questions. The Warriors not playing conservative footy at the moment. So there's a lot of things to be encouraged about here for Knights fans.
Crossland passes left. Smith gives it on to Lucas on the 30. Stands and takes a couple of post-contact meters with a couple of tacklers around him. And Lucas plays it a dozen from halfway on the left edge. Past the right and centre field for Smith. He's no-look pass to Mooney. Mooney caught it, then dropped it. Knocked on. And then a bit of a knock-on from Sam Healy as well. So they'll blow this up and feed a scrum. Warriors feed. 9 minutes to go. Warriors lead 30-12. And by the way, home game next week for the Warriors against the West's Tigers. While the Knights have got Canterbury Bankstown at Stadium Australia next week.
Well, again, they're going to have to look after the ball a little better than they have done here there. But I'm going to have to say, Jackson Ford did a great job there forcing the error.
I'm just seeing here too, so I was talking about the rain at Rosehill, the Giants game against St Kilda's delayed for lightning. So all that's back in, that's waiting for you when you drive home, Matt.
I wish I could say I'm surprised or scared, but it's just like...
Well, stay safe there, and of course, ABC local radio in 702 Sydney, keeping you across that. If you want to hear the footy uninterrupted, ABC Listen, and the green button there as Hanson tries a little kick. It got charged down by Hunt straight into the hands of Healy. Healy's got it on the 30 for the Warriors, going right and left. Lateral now straight up to the 20, gets tackled. So, 0 tackle, that's play 1 now. 20 metres out for the Warriors, Boyd. Going laterally opposite for the straightener of Niakure. There's 3 around him and he can't get an offload away. So Murata Niakure will play it 21 metres from the Knights line to the right. Clark, gives it on to Maunger, who drops it terribly, spews out of his hands. And the Knights have got it. Bradman Best cleans it up. So it's got a bit messy at the end for the Warriors, but boy, it seems like, do you forgive them? They've done a lot of work in this game to have their foot on the till here at 30-12.
Yeah, they'd be disappointed. They show a lot of belief through Andrew Webster in their system. Aaron Clark wanted to play outside it there. Came up with a poor decision to pass the ball right at the line. They'd be disappointed in that.
Jacob Saifidi is down and cramping in back play while Smith throws a speculated a Gagai. It bounces off his back. And the referee blows it up as RTS was going to go on a scoot. Double knock on. Knock on first, Knights, then Warriors. And poor old Jacob Saifidi, Bridget. Now the trainer's trying to stretch out those voluminous calves.
Yes, absolutely. He's up on his feet now, so it looks like he's getting back into the field of play. It'll be a scrum. But just got the crowd figure through. 21,682 people here at Hunter Stadium today. Usual capacity about 28,000, reduced because of some issues with the Andrew John Stand roof. But I would happily say, I think, or confidently say, a lot of those fans are getting an early mark into the car park as I speak.
Yeah. Warriors went in the scrum 30 metres out to a peak. He slammed on his back. The little fullback has had a very solid meeting with the Hunter Stadium turf because of the tackle of Croker there. But he's okay, gets up and plays it. Jackson Ford's had a huge game. He rolls forward once more. Taken for the Warriors, just left of the uprights, a dozen out. Waz looking for more points, 30-12 their lead. Vaimalga putting on a dance and a spin. Stops 8 metres out underneath the black dot at the southern end. Quick to his feet to play it. Egan gives to Clark. Aaron Clark is stopped just before the goal line. 3 men in the tackle. Great job from the Knights goal line defence. That was Croker getting underneath him, most importantly there. Egan passes right. Boyd scheming, ducking, weaving, gives to Niakure, who realises he can't move because he's in an offside position, an obstruction position both left and right, so he takes the tackle. That's messy. Last play now for the Warriors. Given to Boyd. His kick across field, he hurt his leg. It's been batted backwards. Penalty goes to the Warrior for someone running into Boyd's leg while he was kicking it. And Vaimalga doesn't like that, taking offence with Trey Mooney. Bridget Murphy.
There is push and shove. Both teams almost completely in, and Tana Boyd, the one who is injured by the looks of things, completely outside of the pack, so tension's boiling over. But Boyd clutching at his, what looks like right knee, down onto the ground. There was that late contact as he was making the kick, which we're just seeing up on the screen now.
Contact with the leg.
Yeah, straight Mooney in that one. Ooh, it doesn't look very good.
Yeah, Tana Boyd is holding his lower right leg. It's being attempted to by a trainer. And he's going to be held to his feet. Yeah, he's going to be able to try and... Yeah, he's trying to jog it out, Matt. So that's good news.
Just watching the replay closely there, it's knee contact, looked like with the quad or the calf, so you can see him limping on it, but...
On report in the bin. And, Matt, what do you think?
Oh, right call.
Yeah.
It's the right call. And he's apologising for it as well, by the way. He went up to Tana Boyd, which shows a bit of class, but this game's more or less done, or not more or less done, it's over anyway.
Well, his night's done. Afternoon, should I say. There's only 5 minutes left, so... The second time in the game, Newcastle find themselves down the man after Fletcher Hunt went to the sin bin for repeated infringements in the first half. I don't think it's been the winning and the losing of the game. The fact they've been down 13 on 12 for 15 minutes of the game, Matt.
I'll tell you the winning and the losing of the game. One team makes 14 errors, one team makes 5. Who wins?
The team that makes 5 most of the time.
Tell me the times it doesn't. You know, and I'm not someone who gets obsessed by that stuff, but the Knights have shot themselves in the foot today. They've removed any opportunity to win in this game, in my opinion.
So Tana Boyd's not going to kick for goal. And Tane Tuapiki is going to have the honour of trying to add another 2 points. They're going for penalty goal here, the Warriors, as we get to the ragged edges of this one. But it will be the Warriors to go unbeaten through the opening 3 rounds. Just outside 4 minutes to play. 30 points to 12, the scoreline in favour of the men from Auckland. The penalty goal attempt here for Tane Tuapiki. Slightly left-hand side of the uprights. Only 15 metres out. He approaches, strikes. Tuapiki kicks the penalty goal. And the Warriors go further ahead. They lead by 32 points to 12 with 3.5 minutes left in the game. Just interestingly, full-time score in that New South Wales Cup between the Raiders and the Bulldogs. It finished a draw. Andrew's got some more details to come in the between games show. Raiders 28, Bulldogs 28, but Bronson Sherry did play and scored a try for the Bulldogs. It's been in the headlines this week. Unhappy with the way that Cameron Soraldo's running his career at Belmore. Short restart from the Knights, batted backwards by the Warriors and in Warriors' hands. So they do get possession, the visitors. Waz at home against the Tigers next week. Hold down from Newcastle in the ruck penalty Warriors. By the way, in the Jersey Fleet, the Sharks have beaten the Storm as well. Full time there, 22 to 12. And the Golden Slipper won by Zach Lloyd and the Price Kemp Junior Stable with Guest House, number 3, winning the Golden Slipper. Streisand second, Music Time third for Canberra trainer Gratz Fella. That was one of the stories there. The Black Opal winner, Streisand the Blue Diamond winner, finishing second. But number 3, Guest House, won the Golden Slipper. Still the Galaxy to come, so 4 Group 1s down, 1 to come. In the rain at Rosehill. Warriors, have they got more points? Healy's tackle, 15 in from the left and 35 metres out, 2.5 to go. Warriors 32 to 12. Jackson Ford rolls. He has had a huge game, Jackson Ford. What a game he's had. He stopped 20 in from touch on the left and 25 from the goal line. Plays the ball to Wigan. Given left to debutant Hansen. He's got a good memory for his first game, Luke Hansen. A winning game for the Warriors in Newcastle. Plays out in that left edge through the hands. Clark in centre field. Gives to Boyd. Gives to Tuapiki. Tackled by Best. And also Crossland. Couple of minutes left in the game. Last play in this set for the Warriors. 15 out. Tana Boyd. That leg's okay. He chips for the left wing. Young flies and catches for the Knights. Oh, but there's a penalty. There was some escorting. There was some disrupting. Penalty Warriors.
Over the moon with the penalty count and the discipline that their teams displayed today in getting penalised a lot. Like a lot.
A lot. So 90 seconds left, and Wade Egan's just taking a moment before he taps the ball. He says, okay, Sam Healy's going to have the first run at the line. He's tackled a couple of metres out. Warriors want more points here. Egan to the right. Boyd gives it to Malner on the straightening run. 3 to stop him. Crossland first contact was good contact. 5 out under the black dot. Egan flat ball onto Niakure. Held up by the tackle of Croker. Is he in the in-goal area? No, not according to the referee, so he'll play it from where he is. Won't have to go back to the 10-metre line. Wasn't held up, just short. Play to Egan. Sweeps it left for Boyd across the 10. Onto Healy. Dummies left. Straightens right. Can't get through. Again, Crossland there to help make the tackle with Frizzell. Warriors 6 metres out. Played to Egan. Grubber for the in-goal. Beautifully handled by Croker. On a knee, put his right hand up and handled it and controlled it. So he saves the ball going into the in-goal area, and the Knights have got it. And we've got 30 seconds to go.
What a great catch there. He was in the gully there. He might get a run of the cricket team next week as well.
So Canberra at home, tick. Previously Roosters at home, tick. And now Newcastle away. It's not a bad triumvirate of results for Warriors fans to get excited about to start the 2026 season. They can only beat who's in front of them, and they have done so to start the season 3-0. The Knights with their $1 million men on the sidelines come crashing back to earth. Last play's a little chip from Frizzell, taken by Wadene Zalesniak. He'll be... Oh, he got a pass away to Tuapiki. Here's the cream on the cake. Tuapiki decides to give the pass to Luke Hansen, to give the kid on debut a try on the full-time hooter, and that brings applause from Matt Elliott. Tuapiki could have scored it himself. He basically passed it to the debutant in the in-goal area. That is celebration mode, and what a way for Luke Hansen to remember his opening game in the NRL. Another try. It'll be 38-12 full time when Boyd, or Tuapiki, kicks the conversion. And how about that on the last play? Tuapiki could have scored, but he thought, nah, it was a bit of a trick pass till he passed it behind the padding of the post. For Luke Hansen, the 22-year-old Penrith junior, to score on debut in the NRL for the Warriors.
Wow. Andrew Webster might have questioned the decision to make that pass, but yeah, what a classy thing to do for your teammate making his debut and giving him the opportunity to do that. He was pretty happy with it, wasn't he, Hansen? Like, look at the amount of rejoicing that was done by all his teammates.
Now it's the 100th gamer, though, who's going to kick for the conversion. Jackson Ford scored a try earlier in his 100th game. Now from straight in front, he's got a conversion to go with it as well. Oh, add more salt for Knights fans in the Hunter. The Wars are whooping it up here. Ford kicks the conversion after the try to debutant Hansen. We're done. And the Warriors have won it comfortably. 38 points to 12. Clark, Ford, Halasima, Fisher, Harris, Boyd and Hansen the try scorer. Boyd 5, make it 6 from 7. 5 from 6. Tuapiki 1 from 1, and Ford 1 from 1 for the Knights. Hunt and Margie the try scorers. Smith 2 from 2. 18-6 half time. 38-12 in the end. Stay close. Richards interview's not too far away, and Matt Elliott as well with his assessment of points. Well, they can hoot, but they were outplayed today, Newcastle. The fans unhappy.
They're not real happy with the referee because of all the 6 against, but I think they're looking in the wrong direction. They need to look at their own team there. So you don't get 6 against you. Hang on, we've got someone down the field, Bridget.
I'm with the man that just went over for a try on debut. Luke Hansen, congratulations. How's that feel?
Oh, no, it's unreal. Yeah. I don't even know what was going through my head. I was just trying to get it. But no, I was just stoked with the win, and to get the try at the end, made it even more special.
I imagine feeling that special feeling is enough just getting to pull on this jersey and play NRL, but that moment where you got that ball in the dying seconds, were you kind of like, oh gosh, I gotta catch this?
Oh, I seen the post and I was just hoping I wouldn't, fumble it with the post, so I had to just spin away from it. So I was just lucky enough to catch it and get the ball down.
Tell me about these last few weeks and when you were told that you were making your debut. How were these boys around you? You could see it out on the field how cohesive you were when you had, the ball in your hand, but what's this squad been like to work with?
Oh, it's been amazing. I've dreamed of this since a kid, and getting told earlier in the week that I was making my debut, all the boys got around me and made it special. So I love this team, and it was an honour to put the jersey on and run out today with them.
Your halves partner Tana Boyd had an incredible game as well. Of course, it looks like thankfully he's going all right with his knee, but what's he been like to partner with?
Oh, he's been amazing. I was fortunate enough to play a fair few games of footy with him last year, so when I found out I was playing this week with him in the halves, I knew he'd make my job easy. I just had to go out there and just play my game. So he's a special player.
Well, congratulations on the debut and congratulations on the try. Thanks for talking to ABC Sport.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Well done, Bridget, and we'll stay close there. So Luke Hansen, 22 years of age, who made the move to go across the ditch in 2023, having been produced out of that amazing rugby league factory that is the Penrith junior system there. Star in the New South Wales Cup Premiership win last year, and today getting his chance at the top level and scoring right at the end. Back to Bridget.
Here with Knights captain Jacob Safidi. Jacob, tough one to swallow first game at home.
Yeah, disappointing. We just shot ourselves in the foot with our discipline. We're loose around the ruck, and they capitalised on that. So, going to the Warriors, but, back to the drawing board for us.
And I know there were moments through that game where, momentum was stopped due to some decisions. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to weigh in on your thoughts on that, but what did that do to your game and, I guess, the momentum that you did have at some points? Yeah,
like I said, we're just ill-disciplined. We, at half-time, they had like 60% of the ball, and, we can blame the ref all I want, but I thought we should have, most of them would deserve it. Like I said, we were loose, and then we're having to hold them down for longer because we were loose. So, like I said, it was a disappointing first showing at home, but, we'll be better for it next week.
Some of your younger boys, Fletcher Hunt, for instance, a lot of weight on their shoulders coming in, covering for Kalen Ponga. Despite the results, what can you say about how they have prepared this week and how your team overall has adapted to what is a tough situation at the moment?
Yeah, obviously, I thought Fletcher was good at the back. He's still learning his craft, and he's only going to get better. Obviously, we'll be disappointed. Not with his game. I thought he was good, but with the result today, and as we all will be. But these younger guys, they're only going to be better for the experience. So, all of them have bright futures, and like I said, we'll be better next week.
Well, onward and upward, and thanks for talking to ABC Sport.
Thank you.
Great job, Bridge. Bridget Murphy downstairs. Warriors 38, Knights 12. Matthew Elliott, your final thoughts and your votes for the ABC Sport Player of the Year.
I think Jacob really nailed that. He took responsibility for the team. You know what? You don't get six again against you if you don't have the ball. If you're in possession, and they didn't respect possession. We saw that today. So my 3-2-1, Jackson forward, 80 minutes, starting prop, 263 metres, 43 tackles, scored a try.
Kicks a conversion.
Kicks a conversion.
100th game, not bad.
In his 100th game. What a performance. Like, if you've got a player like that in your team, like, that just takes so much heat off a whole lot of other players. So it wasn't that, all those numbers sound great, don't they? But it was how he did it. He forced errors as well. 2 errors that I can remember that he forced through tackling. So, what a performance by him. Tana Boyd scored a try, 3 try assists, carried the ball as a half for 125 metres. His performance tonight again was a big part, or this afternoon, sorry, was a big part of the continuity that we're seeing in this Warriors team. And we talked about the responsibility he's taken. Well, he's certainly risen to that. Tane Tuapiki gets my 1 point. I just thought his presence, he came up with a couple of try-saving tackles, right on the try line there, which were really impressive. 153 metres. The thing that pushed, I was really looking at Mitch Barnett, but he just didn't quite play enough minutes for me. Tuapiki, that last bit of class there, I went, you know what, I'm going to go with you there, bro. That was beautiful to watch.
3 to Jackson Ford, 2 to Tana Boyd, 1 to Tane, 2 to Peaky. 18-6 half-time turns into a 38 points to 12 win for the Warriors, who are 3-0, and a home game against the West Tigers at Mount Smart Stadium next week. First loss of the season for the Knights, and just a little peer behind the curtain of life without Callan Ponga and Dylan Brown. So they're 2-1, and they play Canterbury Bankstown at Stadium Australia next week.
They can make the challenge less by looking after the pill.
Hold on the footy, it helps. Safe travels back.
Yeah, thanks.
Storm's waiting for you on your way back to Sydney. Great to have Matt Elliott here. Thanks to Bridget down on the touchline and to Nathan Turnbull here on the faders and to Jonesy back in the studio. So that's game 1 done. Warriors 38, Knights 12 in the Hunter. 2 more to come on this triple header Saturday on ABC Sport. Next stop, the Shire with the Finns and the Sharks. Andrew Moore.
Thank you, Q. No rain here, no storms here. There is some cloud, but there's also some blue sky still down there in the northeast here at Shark Park. Only a small crowd at the moment, although looking across to Captain Cook Drive, there are plenty of people trying to make their way across. Cronulla Sutherland against the Dolphins. The only team changes come on the bench for the Sharkies, and you can scratch Puru. Hepa Puru is out. Marweni Hiroti comes onto the bench in jersey 21, and Chris Vela once again is a scratching, and Teague Wilton is back in the team for his first appearance of 2026 in jersey 22. So add Marweni Hiroti and Teague Wilton to Braden Welly, Oregon Kafusi, Toby Rudolph and CSC Fatalakai. It is a great bench. For the Dolphins, Thomas Flegler, their front rower, is out, replaced by Felice Kafusi in jersey 16, and replacing Kafusi on the Dolphins extended bench, Brian Penu. So they're the changes. Referee Gerard Sutton. Grant Atkins is in the bunker. I'm Andrew Moore alongside former Panther, Shark, Blue and Kangaroo Luke Lewis. Louis, good afternoon to you once again. How are you going?
Yeah, good afternoon, boys. I'm going very, very well. I'm looking forward to this game as it's getting closer. The boys are out there warming up, so I can't wait for it. Not too long to kick off. And it looks like the cloud is sort of slowly sort of going to maybe bypass us. They may not get it, so that'd be nice. Fingers crossed we can see a dry game of footy. I want to see these two teams have their best opportunity to show their attack, which they've both got, and also keep our good mate down there on the sideline nice and dry.
Yeah, that's what I'm really hoping for too after a wet night in Canberra the other night. Michael Carianis, good afternoon to you once again.
Yeah, I did make an emergency dash to get my umbrella while that game was being played, but I was looking at the radar, which I don't usually do because I didn't have an umbrella. I reckon it's going to be all right.
Now, good. So we've got players warming up now. Dolphins are at the northern end, down at the southern end to our right, the Sharkies. The referees are doing their very exciting little sprints up towards halfway on that eastern side of the field, and all in readiness at 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. It's South Sydney taking on the West Tigers. Shortly, we're going to be joined by Brisbane Broncos match winner Katoni Staggs, who did score the winning try against the Melbourne Storm last night against Melbourne. But plenty of interest for Canterbury Bankstown fans in the story of Bronson Sherry, MC. We might just recap that for listeners about why he's not in first grade and how this has really developed over the last week or so.
Yeah, he's just finished a New South Wales Cup game. He was dropped to reserve grade because essentially he had a fallout with coach Cameron Serraldo. Serraldo shifted him from the left-hand side to the right-hand side, and Bronson didn't respond the way he would have liked, the coach would have liked. The coach was quite scathing around Bronson's attitude midweek, and so it led to him missing the NRL game on Thursday night, but playing today in Canberra.
Well, let's find out how he went, how he responded. Your colleague at the Daily Telegraph is there in Canberra, George Al-Akiki, and he's on the line. G'day, George. How you going?
Boys, how are we?
Mate, very well. I hope MC didn't give you too many tips about talking on the radio with us, did he?
No, he's a good fella. He'll be all right.
Oh, okay. Well, you've lost me from the start. Mate, Bronson Sherry playing New South Wales Cup today. How did he go?
Well, boys, as far as impressions go, I think he's definitely rectified it on the field. I mean, that's why with your first touch, I think kind of says it all. I mean, he really just went from the get-go, almost set up a second one straight after, and then was involved again in a third try. So really, I've got to say that I think Bronson did everything he could on the field, as far as I can see.
So was he playing at left centre?
He was, that's right. So, yeah, back to his preferred left centre position after the right centre shift in the Las Vegas game.
24-4 Canterbury led, and they ended up a 28-all draw against Canberra. So was there any from the Canterbury hierarchy there watching his progress?
Yeah, there was actually. There was Primo got schooled. He was out and about, walking around, taking a few photos of stands as well, but keenly watching Bronson. He was actually right in line with Bronson's first try. And also as well out here was Canterbury assistant coach Jason Taylor, so they would have been keeping a close eye on Bronson, who, yeah, really impressive.
All right, and so will he be speaking to you guys, because the game hasn't been over all that long? Are you expecting him to come and have a chat?
We are waiting for him to come out of the shed. He did acknowledge me just after the game with a handshake, but they've headed into the shed now, so just waiting for him and we'll see how it goes. But, yeah.
All right, no doubt we'll read your story tomorrow. Thank you, George.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
That's George Al-Akiki from the Daily Telegraph. Are you moulding him into a journalist of some repute?
Good young kid, yeah. He's really good. We've got another one in Tyson Jackson as well too. It's been a while. I've been the youngest in the newsroom for a while, Andrew, so it's good to get some fresh blood in there.
Now, at Hunter Stadium, Warriors 38 defeated Newcastle 12, and those ABC Player of the Year points from Matthew Elliott, 3 to Jackson Ford, the Warriors prop, who were raving about last week. Louis, he's got 3 points in the ABC Player of the Year in every game they've played so far.
Well, if he keeps playing the way he is, I think you're going to keep receiving 3 points.
Could he be unbeaten like you think Penrith could be?
No, but I'm telling you, he's playing amazing football. For a front row, he plays 80 minutes, he's everywhere, he defends well, he's aggressive, he runs hard lines, he takes the tough carries out of his own end, takes so much pressure off his team. And it's good to see that he's getting some recognition for it, because he has been a player like that over the years, but just not as consistent. Mate, the way that he started his first 3 games has been phenomenal.
Dragons didn't see it in. 2 points to Tana Boyd. Speaking of guys playing extremely well, and 1 detained to a Peaky, the Warriors fullback. That was from Matthew Elliott. Warriors 38, Newcastle 12, having led 18-6 at half-time. And who really would have thought that the Warriors 3-0 start to the year?
Yeah, I did.
Apart from you.
I did as well.
Okay, apart from both of you.
No, they've done it exceptionally well. Obviously, a couple of big wins, and then it was an important game for them to get the job done today, given where Newcastle, with all the injuries they had, no Brown, no Ponga, no Sharp, so they're always going to struggle the Knights, but it was a tricky game for the Warriors to get through, right, just because of that, all the expectation, but yeah, important victory and another emphatic win, so they're sitting nicely at the moment, the Warriors. They're going really well. Tana Boyd is going to, if he keeps going the way he's going, he's going to create a selection headache for Andrew Webster when Luke Metcalf comes back.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because you can't drop Tana Boyd at the moment.
You can't. He's
no way.
Again, he's another. I know Jackson Ford's getting all the points at the moment because of the amount of work he does in the middle, but Tana Boyd, he's really taken ownership of this side. He looks really good.
Well, he got the 2 today.
Metcalf can play 6, right, and has done that for a large chunk of his career, and essentially until last year. So the way things are at, if he's not back for another month, so lots can change, but that's probably the way I would go.
20 minutes from kickoff here at Shark Park. Crowd's still coming in, but at the moment you'd say it's smaller than Dino Mezzatesta, the Shark CEO, he's small in stature, but he's got a massive ticker. Old Dino, it was good to see him a little bit earlier today. So at the moment there might only be 4,000 or 5,000 here, but again, not the easiest place to get to. There's no parking anywhere close really, but they're coming. You can see them across the road. They're coming in their hundreds. So hopefully that will continue to build. Around the grounds in Jersey Flegg full-time, West Tigers and South Sydney, and that has ended in a 22-all draw. The Rabbitohs scored a late try, 22-all. Earlier here, Cronulla 22 defeated Melbourne 12. Parramatta 12 defeated St George Illawarra 10. Canterbury Bankstown 30 defeated Canberra 26. And the Warriors 46 beat Newcastle 6. In the New South Wales Cup, South and West Magpies get underway in a moment. So far today, Newcastle 32 defeated the Warriors 22. Melbourne 20 defeated Newtown 12. 28-all draw between Canberra and Canterbury Bankstown. In the AFL first quarter, after a lengthy delay because of lightning, but they're back underway now, or they're underway now. GWS Giants leading St Kilda 7-2 in the first quarter. In Super Rugby, Moana Pacific playing Canterbury Crusaders, who have scored scored first. Crusaders leading 5-0. In the netball, Queensland Firebirds 13 lead Sunshine Coast Lightning 8. That's in the first term. There's rain at Cricket Central Olympic Park, and they've been off for a while because of lightning and now rain. New South Wales 1 for 129 in the 23rd over after Queensland Fire made 7 for 332. So they needed 204 to win off 27 overs. We'll see if they get back on out there. And Australian Open champion Hannah Green at 14 under leads by 2 shots after the third round of the WPGA Championship being played at beautiful Sanctuary Cove. And in A-League men, no score in the first half. Melbourne victory against Central Coast Mariners. A-League women, no score between Perth Glory and the Central Coast Mariners. Coming up next, we're going to check in with one of the Brisbane Broncos stars after their great come-from-behind win last night.
I feel like I've said too much.
Totally expected.
I am sorry about that.
Catch the best local and overseas talent at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival Gala.
Bye.
Wednesday, March 25 on ABC TV and ABC iView. The 2026 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Well, the Premier's Brisbane on the board in 2026, and they did it the way we became so accustomed to seeing them do it last year, especially in the finals, and that was coming from 14-0 down to beat the Melbourne Storm in a thriller in Melbourne, 18-14, and the scorer of the winning try was Katoni Staggs, their elite setter. He's on the line. G'day, Katoni. How you going?
How you going, mate?
Mate, I'm very well. You could see how much that meant to you guys. Your Premiers, you were 0-2, and all that's certainly far from panic stations. It was clear that that result meant a lot to you guys.
Yeah, it did. Obviously, it wasn't the way we wanted to start our year. Obviously going over to England and not getting a result there, and then obviously round 1 and round 2, and obviously being a premiership team, and you didn't want to, we didn't know wants to start the year like that, but there was no better way to obviously get a win on in 26 on the road down in Melbourne. Obviously, we versed with the grand final last year, and it was a tough game there, and obviously last night was a tough game again, and just proud of all the boys that obviously played a part last night, and to get the 2 points down there on the road. I think it's been 10 years since we won down there, so it's a massive achievement down there too.
I was calling the Roosters Penrith game, Katoni, last night, and Penrith owns the Roosters. They've now beat them 12 out of 13 times. Well, as you've just described, Melbourne has absolutely owned Brisbane, but you knocked them off in the most important game of all last year, and you win away from home last night, coming back again. So is that monkey off the back now?
Yeah, I'd say so. Obviously, for most of our, us players, we haven't won a game down there, and not many times, like you said, Broncos don't beat Storm. But obviously, we got that one down in Sydney last year, and probably was the best game that I've ever been a part of. And winning a grand final is no other feeling. But yeah, last night was a little bit the same. It felt like that grand final win again, and just to do it, and obviously, like I said, 10 years hasn't been done, and obviously to do it in the jerseys, we did it in last night too. That was the last 2006 grand final that the boys wore their jersey in, and it was a special moment.
Yeah, that was actually very cool. And I'm someone who doesn't like anything other than the normal jersey. But to do it the way you did it, and you've been around for a while, Katoni, there's always talk after a team breaks through to win the comp of a premiership hangover the following year. You guys had been to the grand final a couple of years earlier and were beaten in heartbreaking fashion by Penrith, struggled the following year, coach gone, new coach in, and you win the comp. Did you notice anything different amongst the attitude of the playing group coming into the pre-season this time around or not?
To be honest, I think this year's pre-season was obviously for some of us players that had to go overseas and play in the Ashes and stuff, and we had a short pre-season, but the rest of the lads came in with the same mindset as last year's, just train hard and obviously compete hard as well. And I think the way Matt coaches, a lot of players just we have to adapt to that, and we get connected, and we go away a fair bit and we bond a fair bit. So I think going on some footy camps always connects you a lot better. So the boys have been good.
It always seems that there's trouble looming at Brisbane, mainly